Hi there.
Right, so we got a pretty good series coming up. Do you want to kind of explain a bit
Yeah,
basically what I mean by that?
so we have RUZ3 Black, who were in the finals of the Gamers Origin Super Bowl, up against Feel Good Inc., who have a number of great players, the likes of Nick Chipper and Inna, who are consistently top 100. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is like basically the kind of game that we're going to cast and we're going to try and predict the right plays, but this is basically going to be a series where I can imagine some crazy like games going to happen
Yeah,
basically.
this is going to be top level Hearthstone.
Yeah.
If you were tuning in to watch the on Play Hearthstone to watch the EU tournament, then I imagine there'll be almost a similar level to that. Hopefully without some of the big misplays.
Oh god, yeah. Well, that's what I mean. Like, if you, like, basically with these players in mind, I mean, these guys are always like hitting constant legends. They're always in these big tournaments, so they've been practicing with all kinds of different decks. So they like you said, they are the top level of play. So if you guys are here to kind of learn how to play Hearthstone, this would probably be a pretty good. I say it's a good start. They might make some kind of plays that are a bit too advanced to explain, but of course we'll try and explain play by play every now and then what's happening if there's something that seems a bit too extreme. But yeah, just a quick rundown then, guys. So it is going to be Feel Good Inc. versus Ruse Gaming Black, as BoarControl just mentioned. So we're going to have Nick Chipper, I hope it's pronounced Inner, and No playing for Feel Good Inc. against Mitsuhide, Chinoise, and Versatile for Ruse Gaming Black. So yeah, can expect to see some good games coming up, guys. And of course, once the games are underway, we will get started as soon as possible, and we'll keep you guys up to date with everything.
Yeah. Here's everyone's accepted my request. That's good. So
Okay, yeah, I just need to make sure I check that as well, actually, myself.
so classes wise for IZ3, Mitsuhide is playing Warlock and Shaman. Chinoise is playing Warrior and Hunter. Steel's playing Druid and Paladin. So, from that perspective, I think those are all the most common classes that we saw across the NA and EU events recently. Yeah. I'm not surprised to not see the likes of Priest there.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, no priest, no rogue again. So that's a kind of a bit of a trend, really. I think you could say. Of course, when the standard format comes out, do you imagine we're going to see a bit of change there? Do you think perhaps the rogue and priest might come back into play, or?
Yeah, of course we haven't been able to see all the new cards that come out, but by the looks of things, Paladin won't be sticking around as much without Must Battle and Minibot.
Yeah,
So
of course.
Hopefully that will allow some of the decks to come back, and maybe in a more control metagame, Priest can come back into the metagame. Yeah, and then for Feel Good Inc., Nick Chipper's piloting Hunter and Paladin. He recently got ranked 2 Legends, most recent season with Hunter. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's the same deck, a Face Hunter archetype. Inner will be playing Druid and Mage, and No will be playing Warlock and Warrior. So the only difference in the lineup is Mage on the side of Feel Good Inc. and Shaman on the side of RUZ3.
Damn, so that is yeah, I was going to say, I mean, what would you say there's perhaps more of a control or an aggro kind of style leaning towards? Like, well, should we start with Feel Good Inc. first? So from looking from their point, you were saying Nick Chipper, plays a hunter, which was a face. Was it a face hunter archetype?
I think it was a
face hunter. Yes.
So he was targeting all the zoos on ladder on the last season.
Oh, right, okay, so that'd be pretty decent against, like, all the other kind of suits. So that is it, because, I mean, obviously Hunter with Unleash the Hound, well, Juggler Unleash, you've got, explosive traps. If he plays explosive traps, I know some play freeze traps.
Yeah, explosive traps and snake trap are the most common ones in the base archetype, since they're the best for sort of fighting for board in the early game.
Right, no, I completely understand that.
Freezing trap's a very good mid-game card against, like, 4 drops and 5 drops, but normally you want to be sort of, that's the end of your minions is about that turn. That's when you just start hero powering and spells the face. So yeah.
Yeah, that's it. You don't really want to be returning, I suppose, a Dark Peddler, giving them an extra spell or an extra power overwhelming, I suppose. So there are certain cards I definitely agree that the Freezing Trap's super effective against, so I guess it's really good against Druids for playing that Piloted Shredder, which is a very sticky minion.
Yep.
You never feel too happy playing it for 6 mana. I mean, don't get me wrong, 4 mana you always feel pretty decent because it is 2 bodies essentially, but 6 mana you just kind of starting to feel a bit dirty playing it for 6. So but,
Druid often has to wait for Force of Nature turns to be able to deal with Freezing Trap,
Yeah, exactly. I mean, having that back in your hand's not the worst. I mean, it's pretty expensive for a charged minion with only 2/2, but it can still be buffed with Savage Roar, so it's not the worst thing. I couldn't see that. But yeah, so we are just awaiting a bit of an update from one of the teams at the moment, guys. But of course, when we do have an update, we will get you into the game straight away. In the meantime, what we could do, actually, I suppose, is kind of go over some of the current decks at the moment. So I mean, just straight off the bat, I mean, I have a Tempo Mage deck here. What's your opinions on Tempo Mage? So with, like, for example, including Ethereal Conjurer and Water Elemental, that kind of archetype.
Tempo Mage for me, it seems to be, if you're in a lineup that targets Druid, I quite like it since it's got a very strong matchup, especially if you play my entity against the Druid. But it just seems a bit too weak against these, like against Zoo and against aggressive decks, and then it doesn't quite have the ability to last against control decks. So I'm not too keen on it since its matchups aren't great versus like Warrior and Warlock, which you see really a lot in tournaments.
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, it used. I mean, how would you say it's favoured now as well against, like, say for example, Druid, where you used to have a bit of a counter in a way to the mirror entities with the Darnassus Aspirant, which was introduced. Of course, that's a huge buff to the Druids when it was released. Some people now taking it out for the Living Roots, which I understand. So I guess against Druids it can be pretty strong, but I do agree, depending on the type of warrior, you know, the Tempo Mage can struggle.
Yeah, often if you're playing a double mirror entity build, then for the Zoo they have Nerubian Egg, and for the Warrior they have Unstable Ghoul, and both these cards are actually bad for you to get, like...
Yeah.
Yeah, the Nerubian Egg is just another minion for Sea Giant, and then the Unstable Ghoul procs a Whirlwind effect, which works on the Armorsmith, Acolyte of Pain, Patron, Frothing Berserker. Yeah. Yeah,
that's it. So, I mean, I think it's just a case of having certain tech choices as well, because of course, I mean, in the situation of the deck that I've actually got open here, I do actually have Water Elementals in my deck, and I find them to be extremely strong against the Warrior archetype.
Yeah, I've seen that happen, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I completely locked out, actually, funnily enough, a Grim Patron deck the other day when I was playing the Water Elemental. I mean, okay, maybe I got slightly lucky. I think I got one of the 6 drops for 2 or 3 mana. Well, yeah, it would have been 3 mana, and it was something extremely strong with 6 damage and I think 6 health. So that might have also helped, but...
Yeah, if you're running Mirror Image as well, then the deck can actually be favoured against Warrior.
Yeah,
Mirror Image can just, like, Warrior has especially Patron, without shield slams, it's a tough time getting past taunts, and having to waste like a whole Fire War Axe on that Mirror Image is great value for the Tempo Mage.
Yeah, that's it. So it's there are ways of getting around it. You've just got to know how to counter it. But you are right. I mean, there was an Unstable Ghoul played the other day, you see, where then I obviously got an Unstable Ghoul as well. Fortunately, I was able to Frostbolt his and continue with my Water Elemental to keep hitting the face, and he didn't have an Execute. So there were certain things I was locking his, you know, Death Spite weapon. Although arguably, I think he did a misplay. He did something like a double Whirlwind start to kill off some 2 health thing, even like a Sorcerer's Apprentice. But either way, you know, I digress. It wasn't the best play, I don't think, but everyone makes different plays for different reasons.
Yep.
But just to let you guys know, we are still currently waiting for the first game to go underway. Of course, when the game is underway, we will let you guys know as soon as possible. Apologies about these delays, but these things do happen, I'm afraid.
The players are just starting to pick decks now. So.
Yeah. So it shouldn't hopefully take us too long to get started. Should be starting in the next minute or so. But actually, something we could talk about is a really good point. The Old Gods expansion. So are you preparing yourself for that? Are you getting ready for the expansion?
I haven't purchased the the 50 cards yet. I'm slightly skeptical that I'll need that many packs to get the good cards, because the ones that have come out so far I've seen a bit iffy.
Yeah, isn't it?
It's hard to judge cards because you're currently thinking about the current metagame, but it's going to change completely when Max Ramus and GVG get cycled out. So
yeah, it's kind of a it is a tough expansion to judge. Of course, it is really early on. You know, there's going to be a lot more cards to still come out. But in a way, I did watch a review by Repairing on his YouTube channel about some of the current cards. And I think from at least what they're showing, it seems to be that they're doing a bit of a step down. Of course, they obviously understand that previous expansions like your GVG were just obviously showing cards that were extremely strong. You know, I mean, you had Piloted Shredders, Dr. Boom, Unstable Portal.
Mustafa Battle.
Yeah, just cards that were obviously tearing the meta apart and proving to be consistent throughout all kinds of different types of decks. You know, you'd see Dr. Boom in almost every deck, even some of the most kind of aggro decks eventually started adding him in just for, you know, why not?
Yeah, I think Blackout has put Dr. Boom in like every deck he plays, regardless. Face Shaman, Dr. Boom, everything has it, so...
Yeah, and I don't blame him. You know, I mean, it is such a strong card. It's like, well, okay, sure, you can argue he might have, you know, your opponent might have BGH for the Dr. Boom, but they still have to deal with the 2/1/1s, which, you know, it's that strong that those boom bots can even kill a Ragnaros.
Yeah.
You know, it's just beyond, you know, it's just crazy. So, I think it's a really strong card, and I'm looking forward to seeing a bit of change, even if it is a step down in power. I don't think it's a terrible thing to at least try out, because of course the format, you can take cards and switch them in and out, can't you? So
yeah. What do you think of Cthulhu? If I'm butchering the name, I'm not quite sure. I remember someone saying how to pronounce it. It's like a powered chaos. I don't know, it was weird.
Yeah, Cthulhu, I think he's an interesting card. He's obviously, I can see what Blizzard are trying to do. They're trying to make the game definitely a lot more control. Because it could be one of those cards like Elise where you can buff them up and buff them up and buff them up, but, you know, Cthulhu might be at the very bottom of your deck.
Yeah, new Warlock cards might work well because you can play it, destroy all the minions, and then you play Cthulhu. And if you've got like a 20/20 Cthulhu, then like the majority of them are going to be going face unless your opponent can refill particularly well.
Yeah, I mean, I've even heard of a Bran Cthulhu combo that they were saying could happen, because of course if you have a 20/20 Cthulhu, then you play Bran and it's managed to survive for one turn, that's 40 damage split, which means that if, you know, unless there's more than 10 health worth of minions or something on the board, or you get extremely lucky and it all goes face, then unless it's a warrior, you're just going to kill them outright.
It's almost as good as Bran plus Dr. Boom.
Yeah, Bran, Dr. Boom. I mean, I have that in my current zoo that I've been playing actually recently, and that is really strong. When you do that, you just... You feel really dirty, but you just know it's such a good play. So
often I'm like trading off 4/4s because I know the boom bots are going to be better.
Yeah, well that's it. You know, they are. You know, on average, of course, it's saying you're going to at least, you know, if it's a 50/50, on average, you're going to at least hit like, you know, 2 to 3. So it's kind of, I mean, if it hits for 4s, you're killing a pilot shredder outright. You know, even with 3s, you're killing outright. So a lot of the time, I mean, now here's actually moving on to the next kind of question. Are you the person that likes to trade with your boom bots, or do you like your opponent to trade with the boom bots?
Oh, when my opponent trades, I'm so happy because I'm always going to trade my boom bots pretty much.
So you are.
Seeing my opponent trade, it's like really happy for me. I'm always because you just want the damage. Like going face them, sometimes you go face them if you want to push like a Zoolock down to not being able to tap or something.
Yeah.
But almost always I'll try and trade to the opponent's board, and then most of the time they kill the opponent's board, so that's always good.
Yeah, that's it. I think it is actually quite an interesting question as well in a way, because it can kind of show what type of player you are, because at the end of the day you could be heavily controlled by trading, of course, your boom bots in, but then other people feel like leaving them there, they are a massive threat, and of course you don't want to have to silence a 1/1 that can, you know, do up to 4 damage by, you know, just by dying. So, you know, I do see some people just constantly hitting face and ignoring all the rest of the minions. Of course it depends on the board state, but it is one of those that's up there. again, apologies about this delay, guys. We should hopefully have the guys starting up soon. I believe they've kind of sorted out all the decks. They're just getting ready, making sure that everybody's adding each other. And of course,
technical difficulty with the adding or something. Hopefully it'll be sorted soon.
Yeah, that's it. Actually, let's move on to this other deck. So I've got another deck. Have you ever been a big fan of Mill Rogue?
I mean, I tried it for about 5 to 10 games, ended up losing all but one of them, and then went, nah.
Yeah, it's... I mean, I only play it for fun. I don't really play it on ladder anymore. I just play it purely for if I'm just feeling like a bit of a laugh. I have played it a couple of times on ladder, don't get me wrong, and you know, sometimes it's gone very, very wrong. But it's just one of those that perhaps we might even see more Mill Rogues or more Mill decks coming up in the new standard format, because I don't think many of the actual cards are actually going to be removed for Mill, if I'm mistaken.
Yeah, Rogue hasn't really received many good cards because he doesn't run oil in that deck, does it?
No, so you run like a few tech. I mean, like for example, in this deck, I actually run a Sabotage, which I know is very hit and miss. Some people hate it, some people love it, some people aren't bothered. It is one of those. It does kill a minion and a weapon, and don't get me wrong, there are a lot of like paladins and warriors at the moment, so it can be okay, especially with Tyrion. It's absolutely huge. But
you normally want to be sapping the Tyrion anyway, or banishing it. So.
Yeah, that's true. You don't want to be sapping Dr. Boom. I've learnt that the hard way.
Oh yeah, Dr. Boom's just one of the main reasons that Rogue's just out of the meta, because Rogue just doesn't have an answer to Dr. Boom.
Yeah, unless you want to double eviscerate, but that just feels like
you fan of knives, and then your board gets cleared, and then you backstab fan eviscerate as your answer, and that's just trading like. I suppose you cycle the fan, but you backstab and evis have to go into the boom, whilst the boom bots deal 7 damage to you. It's like
That's it. So it's pretty rough, isn't it? It's not the best thing. And then finally, we'll look on this deck just before. Hopefully, the next game should be starting soon. The Kibler Shadow Priest. Now, are you a big fan? Have you seen much of Kibler's stream at all?
Yeah,
or?
I haven't personally seen Kibler's version, but I've seen quite a lot of Shadow Priests around. 7th class was playing it for a while, and other streamers I've seen.
Yeah,
it's just hero power line spike is so good, but it's just setting it up. Maybe there was like a mad scientist which got Shadow Form into play or something sort of card, then it might be really strong. But unfortunately, the committing, like wasting the whole of turn 3 or a later turn just to like deal, like turn 5 you just deal 2 damage. Yeah, it's very good in control matchups, I guess.
Yeah, so it is good in that's it. Like obviously with Shadow Form, I mean, you know, a targeted hunter ability for just activating it once is pretty strong. You know, it's a really good way of like controlling the board. Then of course you've got like plenty of removals. I mean, Entomb is just such a strong card. I was really happy when they released that for Priest, just because, you know, there was a kind of lack of power with Priest until that was added. Some people argue it's too strong, but I just think it was necessary.
I'd say it's not OP. It's like it's okay.
Yeah, and that's it.
Like, yeah, it's not, and it's a bit meh. Like in quite a lot of matchups, it's pretty dead against the aggressive decks. Like you're not gonna entomb anything against Shaman or Hunter really. So
yeah. Okay, guys, I think we might have a bit more of an update. Okay, so it seems like the guys are adding each other as we speak, so they should be starting any moment now. Of course, guys, when they are playing, we will let you guys know as soon as
Mitsu
we know.
Hyde's preparing to buff friend.
Okay, brilliant. That's fine then.
Yeah.
So we are getting ready for this. I'll hover over the spectate mode now. So of course we'll get straight underway there. There we go. All right, brilliant.
Looks like it's underway.
Okay. And hopefully we don't have any technical issues this time, because we have had a few problems in the past, guys.
Yeah, let's not think about them, and they won't happen.
Okay. Oh well, mine already might have crashed, so yeah, I'm just going to quickly restart my client, guys. Apologies about this. We have had issues with this in the past, but we're going to hope that this time there'll be no issues and we can just move on and all have a nice, happy time.
I'm just loading in now.
Find a seat if you can.
Okay.
So I mean, it's Warlock versus Warlock. It's
Right.
Hide versus No.
Okay.
Or not much anyone's name.
Okay.
So it looks like it's Zoo on the side of Mitsuhide. And a Reno lot from No. So
Yeah. Okay, so I am
looks like-
joining this now.
Mitsuhide decides to keep the Imp Gang boss. I guess he's imagining it's the Zoo mirror, and Imp Gang boss is super strong in the mirror since he can deal with cards. It was like almost all the 2-drops. It trades really well with, and the 1-drop. So yeah, it's quite a nice key.
Yeah.
The
so-
Reno side, if he's predicting Zoo, then the Zombie Chow and Owl are really good. Twisting Nether's a bit too heavy to keep. He trades that way, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we got. So I am actually in now. I'm spectating both. Oh, there we go. Brilliant. They're just updating the cards now. There we go. Cool. So yeah, I can see the cards now, and I completely agree with that. Zombie Chow is massive, especially against Zoo. You know, it just stops stuff like you were saying as well. Like, you know, with Knife Jugglers, Dark Peddlers, it completely trades and still lives, which is huge as well. And then, of course, if, say, for example, Mitsuhide was to play a Nerubian Egg, just pop the Owl down, and then that just really kills off a lot of tempo for the Zoo player.
So that Abusive Sergeant from No indicates to me that he's in the combo Reno lock.
Okay. So, all right. Do you think it's the combo then?
Yeah, so he might be running Arcane Golem, he could be running Leroy Jenkins, and then he'll try and get an Emperor tick, and then get PO and the Abusive Sergeant with the Faceless down for maximum damage. But I don't think that'll be happening this game. Most likely, they'll just be trying to remove them every turn. That Owl is a huge... This is the best possible start for Arena Lock, pretty much. Just the Chow into Owl, and he's managed to secure board against the Zoo already.
Okay. So this is looking like a really good start here for Mitsuhide. Of course, he's got the Coin Defender if he feels like he needs to. This is...
Yeah, for No, yeah.
Would you say this... I mean, yeah, so... Sorry, yeah, for No. So, the Abusive Sergeant here, you could use that and then, of course, Mortal Coil what comes out of it.
Yeah, just Coin Implosion for 4 seems like optimal play.
I mean, yeah, I mean, if you could do that, then definitely.
Yeah,
because
I think you just tap, and then you can Abusive Sergeant the Owl trade, and then trade these Chow into the 1/1 maybe.
yeah, all that plays also fine. The only reason why I was thinking perhaps using the Mortal Coil now is because, you know, past turn 4, you're potentially not going to see a lot of use for the Mortal Coil.
Quite
but then
often you like Hellfire or Demon Wrath, and then you're one off getting one of the minions, and the coil can be quite useful.
yeah, well, no, that's true. And of course, hit this way, Implosion means Mortal Coil obviously will be a lot more.
Yeah.
Wow,
And
it'll
the
definitely.
Implosion's a lot less value because you traded off your Chow, so they're both at 1 HP, so it's much less value to Implosion one of them.
Yeah, that's true. So what are we going to see from No? This kind of looks like a bit of an awkward turn. I mean, you could just return the Implosion. However, of course, Sea Giant is a big threat for the Zoo lock. You do have Sylvanas, which you could coin out next turn if you're scared of a pretty early Sea Giant.
I think you just get coil. Bran's a good draw, isn't it?
Bran is a really good draw, yeah.
Like, you can Faceless twice. Whoa. But yeah.
Oh yeah,
Faceless.
Faceless.
Defender of Argus is the best card here for the Bran. Yeah.
Yeah, I really like the Defender of Argus. It's just huge. I mean, even, you know, you could, in some senses, it's kind of like the dream start for the Zoo, getting a Bran and Defender of Argus early on with some minions on the board. But
Ooh, what's he choosing? Is he going to coin Implosion here, trying to save the 2/1? And then...
okay, I mean, I guess this does now, the 2/1 will trade with the Knife Juggler quite well.
Ooh.
However, it could be a case here for Imp Gang boss tap, the next turn you can Knife Juggler and Implosion for a massive, like, kind of juggle.
You want to save that combo as much as you can.
Yeah, so
There's
yeah, I
nothing
think...
good to Owl on this board, so yeah, you're just going to have to... Imp Gang Boss trades super well on boards.
Yeah.
Even an Argus blade won't do much against this, so...
Yeah, I really like this. I'm glad he's taken my line of play as well. It means I'm not the worst player in the world, so...
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. So
Sorry, didn't mean to sound like that.
I'll be really joking. So right, what now? This is again. I mean, I'm gonna say I'm actually gonna call it quite early and say I think this game is looking like nose, but you know these aren't the easiest of turns.
Without any AoE or Reno in hand, I could still see with the Juggler Implosion coming next turn, Missy Hyde could find a way back in. But yeah, it looks like just no being able to clear every turn is really bad for Mr. Hyde, since you can't use these buff cards like Defender, which no can use, and he's going to use now.
Yeah.
Interesting choice. He chooses to buff up the Zombie Chow, but I suppose he's seen an Implosion already, so he's not expecting a second one to come down.
Yeah, and of course this Knife Juggler Implosion looks like almost the optimal play here, right? I mean, you've got, you know, 2 Defender of Arguses, which they'll be nice when you've got a board, but of course the only way to build that board is going to be with Knife Juggler Implosion. Now,
so
do you Implosion the Zombie? Oh no, okay.
So you Implosion the 2-3 and hope for 4 as your main move in this game, yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
And does he get the free one? He needs to... One more.
3 once.
No!
Oh, those 2 last juggles, all it just had to do was hit the 3-1, yeah.
That's pretty big. I mean, you can even... Would you say... Oh, actually, this Twilight Drake does easily then die to that. Slat Owl could be quite useful. I
might
don't...
see a Sylvanas come down here.
Do you think he'll go for the Sylvanas? I mean, it would then die to just like something like an Abusive or whatever. Or it would deal with the board.
Abusive would be stolen with it, so...
True.
I expect to see Mitsuhide just go face as a response to this. Like maybe Argus Abusive face. He could owl it. Could also make sense. Going for the owl full trade, he's scared of Shadow Flame. Bad play.
Yeah, I mean...
Double Argus next turn, but unfortunately if you're playing like this, you're never getting a tap in. And sort of like against control, you kind of want to be tapping to try and like... They're going to outvalue you if you don't tap. So.
Yeah, and this Twilight Drake as well. I mean, it's...
Whoa, a 4-7.
To be fair, I think I thought that was going to be a bit more hell than it actually was, but it's still, you know, still pretty nice considering you only had a few cards in hand.
Yeah. Normally we see big swingy cards like Demon Wrath and Hellfire trading up, but No hasn't really been able to trade up very well. So it's like we've been going pretty even with the cards in this matchup, and they're both on 3 cards with fairly even boards at this stage. So it could go either way.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I mean. It is quite an even game in a sense. Would you like to see more tapping from No, or wow, that Dr. Boom is going to be pretty big next turn. Of course, he'll be a bit sad that he didn't get it this turn, but. He can still clear it.
Really need to tap AoE.
Yeah, completely understand that. I mean, it's still a really strong thing. Sorry, bear with me 1 second.
Yeah, so... Yeah, Mitsuhide really wants to kick off this run, but really wants to play on Hellfire as well, so he's going to kick off the Torrid Minion, which makes total sense. So he's... Yep, this board's weak to Shadow Flame, which he was playing around before, but I think he feels that trading off... Well, he can't really trade off with the Drake, so it's fair to say. Here we see the problem with Arena Lock. Sometimes you end up with just the Faceless and no way to use it very well. You might end up just having to face this 4-7 and Sun Fury in order to survive. We see, what's this, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 damage on board from the Zoo, so you just need a PO and a Direwolf or something to end up winning this game. So he's going to be scared and might be forced to taunt up here. Yeah,
so I mean, Faceless Manipulator and Sun Fury looks like a pretty decent play. Like you said, it does just stick to the board. You've already seen 1 Owl as well, so you're not going to be too worried about having Twilight Drake completely die.
Juggler Boom.
And I think that has to be the play here. So you trade in one of the Owls. I'd like to see the Owl perhaps traded in, then play the Juggler, and then just hope that Dr. Boom does well.
What do you trade the Owl into?
You could trade into the higher health one, I suppose, because then if just at least 1 Juggle hits the Drake, you can then trade in the other 4/4.
Yeah, if one juggler hits either trigger, he's choosing to tap, which is also so he could forego playing Dr. Boom here to develop the Sea Giant.
I mean, yeah. So I think I like that a lot actually, because he can now make a 5/5, which cleanly kills the 4/5. And then, yeah, this just means
he chooses not to play. Could he have got a fast there? I don't think so.
Yeah, I think he could have done. Yeah, he could have done, because when you play it with one.
So he chooses to save the knife juggler for Dr. Boom, and if there's something like a twisting nether, it will be used now, and it's great to develop the board with Juggler Boom next turn. So I can understand this, mate.
Yeah, or even perhaps. Have we seen a PO or a Shadow Flame? I know it sounds daft, but
we've seen the PO. We've seen the PO, yeah.
So we have seen a PO, haven't we? Yeah. So because Shadow Flame is also another thing that could be quite annoying, because one Shadow Flame would clear most of the board bar the Sea Giant. So something like a BG8 Shadow Flame would completely clear the board as well.
He's 15 cards into his deck, so you would expect there to be a Shadow Flame or Nether by now, but unfortunately no AoE.
No. Oh god. The night is still young and we're making these kind of puns already. This is just... I'm not going to tell Sol about it. Yeah, this is actually looking a lot worse than I thought it would be if you were to ask me again at the beginning of the game. Actually looks like Mitsuhide is quite far ahead at this point.
It's going to have these two humongous minions on board next turn, and I can't really think of any way for No to get back into this, because this 8/8 is going face, right?
Yeah.
And then the Boombot's just pose lethal.
I mean, if you play the Boom now, obviously you can hope that the jugglers just kill the Twilight Drake.
Yeah, I hope they hit the Twilight Drake at least.
So one did.
Nice. So you can push more damage. You're not worried about dying yourself on 23 with 2 cards in hand for the Reno lock when you've already seen like faceless MPOs, so pushing face is fine.
Yeah, I think especially when you're playing Zoo, you have to make them have the answers. You know that they've had one card in hand, but
yeah, he's considering trading the Argus to force one of these big attack minions to trade into this Voidwalker. But if he does this, he probably should trade the Argus first.
Yeah. And I think I like that as well, because like you said, it does force a trade.
Yeah, so I think that's maybe a slight mistake there, but it shouldn't change the outcome of this game.
So Dark Peddler. I mean, Jiraxxus, you just die to Jiraxxus, right? Because you've got 8 and 7, so you have to.
The play here is like tap Reno.
Tap, or yeah,
that's the wrong 6-mana minion, yeah.
There's another PO, but no Shadow Flame, because actually even if he had a... Wow. He had a Shadow Flame.
Here,
yeah, that would literally be a full board clear with just, say, for example, the Pied Shredder. And hopefully if the Boombots, went to... Well, even if they went face, and again, that'd still be lethal, but that's very slim. I don't see anyone...
Let's see what happens. Flame Tongue. No.
Yeah. And that's it.
Yeah, that's game.
Yeah. Okay, so Mitsuhide taking that one against No, and wow, I called it completely wrong. Yeah, well played to both players there. Mitsuhide playing really well. No, of course, playing really well. I think he was just a bit unfortunate with not getting the Reno, and of course, he didn't really get any proper AoE as well, did he? So
yeah, he didn't get any AoE effects, didn't even get a Mind Control tech if he runs that card, or even a big game Hunter or Siphon Soul to deal with a big minion.
Yeah, that's it. So
he just drew like all the minions in his deck, pretty much.
Yeah, so a bit unfortunate, I'd say, there from No side, but of course, still well played to both players, both playing really well. And yeah, we'll have a look and see who's going to be playing up next. So of course that is going to be, as well, I should probably say, that it's going to be Ruse Gaming Black taking that. So they are currently 1-0 against Feel Good Inc. Playing for Feel Good Inc. is Nick Chipper. It's going to be Inner and No, who we've just seen. Then we've got Mitsuhide, who we've just seen for Ruse Gaming Black. Chinoise and Versatile as well.
So yeah, if to anyone who's new to the stream, we're playing... It's the best of 11 format. It's the same as the Archon Team League. So each player has two classes, 2 decks, and then when they win with each of their decks, like that deck's out, and they're through, and they just have to wait for their teammates to try and win with all of their decks. And once everyone on the team's won, then that team wins.
Yeah, that's it. So it just gives like a good amount of variation as well, because of course it's saying that every single player, of course, has to win. So they are going to be doing really well in that sense, because if they want to actually progress, then they can't just have one player carry the whole team. Every single person needs to step up at some point and then win with both classes.
Yeah, unlike common conception about Hearthstone being a single player game, this is actually a rare team format where everyone has to work.
Yeah, that's it. So it is it's actually a format which I do really enjoy. I mean, like I said, I think I've mentioned before where I've seen some streams where they've had team games before and team formats where you see these players gathering around. They might be having simultaneous games at the same time. Of course, in this series here of Piggie League, it is just literally one player versus another player until eventually one team has won. But I have seen all kinds of variations, and I really enjoy them all because it kind of not only does it bring people together and it makes people with theory crafting do a lot better, I think, as well. It just means that you can kind of look at your own plays and stuff afterwards and kind of consider what you want to take with you into future tournaments, even whether it's solo or team as well.
Yep. But yeah, just picking the players for the next game. In this format, both teams have to they do a 3-2-1 countdown, then just name a player. It's the fairest way to do it.
Yeah, so that way, guys, there's no kind of any kind of dodgy thing. So it is going to be Nick Chipper playing next, and he's going to be playing against Versatile. So we are just going to be getting ready for that one there, guys. So Nick Chipper, of course, as we mentioned before, playing Hunter and Paladin for his team, and Versatile playing Druid and Paladin. So do you imagine we're going to see the Hunter here?
Most people like to go with their favoured class and deck first, and I think he favours Hunter, so yeah, I would expect it. Oh, they're just in game now.
Yep, that's it. Yeah, so I've just got the spectate now, so I'm going to be going into that one. So yeah, Nick Chipper is going to be playing Hunter, and it's going to be against Versatile's Paladin.
Oh, so this is a excellent matchup for the Hunter, unless it's a anything can happen Paladin.
Oh, it's no, it's Secret Paladin.
Yeah.
So I've not really played this. Sorry, yeah. So would you say the Hunter's definitely favoured in this matchup, or?
Yeah, the Hunter's just too fast for the Paladin. The Paladin doesn't run any heal effects.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that does make sense. I mean, you do see the Savannah as well. So of course Nick Chipper is playing Savannah now. I'm a big fan of Savannah. I think it's an extremely strong card.
So we see an Abusive Sarch and a Savannah Hyman in the same deck, which is quite rare. So this is probably a hybrid Hunter, I think, for Nick Chipper.
Oh, okay. Now, according to this, I'm still waiting. So we can see Haunted Creeper, Savannah. Yeah, so he is. Okay, he's moving now.
So, yeah.
There we go.
And gets another Savannah back. That's pretty bad. So often Savannah High Main is slightly too slow because it's not very good. If they play Challenger, you play High Main, and Challenger's like the only 6-drop in the game, which is better than High Main. So
yeah, it's just never easy. When you've got these kind of cards, especially when we can see here, of course, Versatile does have the Mysterious Challenger as well. So
I imagine Abusive will be played here because you want to save the coin for the High Main potentially or the low third.
Oh, so is that? Do you think? Yeah. Do you think that's? I wasn't sure if it was perhaps like stupid of me to say. Would you consider Haunted Creeper now?
Yeah,
because
it ruins your curve. That's the issue. If you had another 2-drop, I'd go for it.
Right, but then you think. I mean, the one thing, of course, if the Paladin player doesn't have a turn 2 and they just hero power, then of course Haunted Creeper then and Abusive just seems like it's massive amounts of value. To shut them down quite early on, and then of course when they play their Mustafa Battle, you've then of course got Unleash the Hounds to counteract that. But
often as well in this matchup, you want to go Coin Juggler Unleash.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
The Unleash, so because what happens is they'll muster on 3, and then it'll come to your turn 3. You'll probably Animal Companion or something. They'll go face with the 1/1s or Consecrate or something, and then you swing back the board with the Juggler Unleash. So we see 2 Doctors in Versatile's hand. They might be too slow this game.
Yeah, so the hero power is just going to happen here. Do you trade here, or?
I think you go face because the Secret Keeper has Taunt. Like, you're gonna have it's like you don't leave a secret keeper up. You've got to be scared of it. You want to develop your own secrets at some point as well as
Yeah.
deny the value from your opponent.
That is true. I was about to say actually, like when you've got secret keeper, of course you're playing freezing trap, bear trap, or any kind of trap as a hunter. You can easily be forgotten that you do actually end up buffing them as well. So
Trading here plays around playing Hellmaster,
okay.
but it allows them. It's very weak for your board because the 2/1/1s will trade into your 1/1s and you'll be left with just the 1/1 left. If you hit once with your weapon and go face with your dude, then that plays into Knife Juggler. So everything's a bit awkward here. For versatile.
Yeah, I mean I think it's a tough one to call. Just going face. Okay.
Yeah, this seems fine. I mean, after seeing the Abusive Sergeant, you don't expect a Hellmaster in the deck, so I think this is fine.
I mean, I like
the Unleash.
Yeah, I
This is
like
such
the
great
Unleash.
value.
It's
3
massive.
mana, 4 damage with charge.
It's pretty big, and obviously, of course, trading once with the Haunted Creeper as well, because he wants to keep as many kind of minions, as many options, I suppose. Perhaps for something like a Noble Sacrifice.
Yeah, this is where we see the power of Muster Battle. This is Light's Justice gets it into play. You get to use it every turn. It's so effective.
Yeah,
We're gonna clear 4 minions this game, so yeah.
Now, if you actually coin out the lower feb, next turn you could still Knife Juggler Unleash, but if you were to not play the lower feb, of course now he can't play the muster, so it's
Sort of annoying, isn't it?
yeah. Yeah, I mean, you want him to play another muster if he has one, because Coin Unleash, Juggler Unleash then is just such a huge combo, which a lot of people are aware of.
But the problem is, you play low threat before the Paladin's turn 6, because on turn 6 they most likely Challenger, turn 7 Boom. Like, they're not going to be wanting to play spells on those turns, so this is the most effective turn you can have for the Boom.
Yeah, that's true.
Low
Yeah.
Threat even, yeah.
No, I completely. No, when you put it like that, actually, yeah, I completely agree. Because of course, the Unholy Trinity, Doctor 6, Doctor 7, Doctor 8 is extremely strong, and like you said, it's all minions. So yeah, I do completely see that.
Ooh, a Torn 3/2. That's pretty strong.
Yeah, I mean, we could see the Knife Juggler come down here. Ooh, Arcane Golem. Now,
I imagine you go Juggler, Arcane Golem here, maybe.
Juggler trade and see if hopefully. I mean, there's a good chance.
Yeah,
Obviously, one of them will
basically
hit
Juggler trade, and if they both miss, then you still Arcane Golem and hope it hits.
again.
You really want to put pressure on a Paladin because
There we go.
the mana isn't really that much because you aim to want the Challenger. So, like, this pushing up to 7 really changed their ability to play Challenger, so I quite like it.
Yeah, I think I like this. I mean, like you were saying as well before, of course, the weapon does help the Paladin heal effectively back up to 20 in total. But of course, he's going to be hitting actual minions like, the Knife Juggler, so that'll bring him back down again. And you do see a kill command.
Is that... Oh, we see the Boom instead of the Challenge, just to try and fight back the board, because without any minions on board, Challenge is a bit weaker, the Avenge doesn't buff a separate minion, the Competitive Spirit only works with 1 minion.
Yeah, and wow, that's huge. Are we going to see Unleash the Hounds?
This just
and
lethal.
Wait, 5 plus... I haven't actually... No.
No, it's 1 off, but that's
One
good
off,
enough.
but that's basically it.
Kill command in hand and
Yeah.
the hero power. Yeah.
Wow. And obviously Nick Chipper showing obviously how good he is in this
Showing
game.
his prowess on this hunter deck.
Yeah, he clearly knows when you should be doing certain plays, and wow, that's going to be game. So, of course, Versatile doesn't exactly know that he's dead, because, hero power is definitely... using his weapon is to heal him back up to 2, so the hero power wouldn't kill him.
Yeah, but how's he going to clear the board? That's the real question.
Yeah, it's not only that, but it's a case of... he's not gonna clear it all
He was
anyway.
hoping his boom bots would split into small boom bots and clear all the boards, but that didn't happen, and now he's going to concede.
Yeah, completely understand that. Even with a noble sacrifice, he's still gonna die. So
If
yeah,
only
well-
boom bots were buffed to deal damage to adjacent minions.
yeah, that's it. I mean, God, but what a series! I mean, obviously Nick Chipper showing the power of Hunter there, showing that obviously Hunter is definitely not dead. And
As expected, that Hunter got a win, so yeah, 1-1 in the series.
Yeah. So well played to both players there. Nick Chipper taking that one. So yeah, that's it. Rouge Gaming and Feel Good Inc. For those who are just tuning in at the moment, but yeah, it's 1-1. So we'll get you information of who's going to be playing next, and of course let you guys know as soon as we know as well.
So that's probably the worst matchup Paladin has against Feel Good Inc. Maybe if the mage is freeze mage and the warrior could be patron, that'd be another 2 matchups it wants to dodge. But we could see it come out again to try maybe face up against the druid or the warlock.
Yeah, so I mean, I think that Hunter. The Hunter in general, the Hunter class is very. If you're a master of Hunter, and of course, like you were saying, Nick Chipper's known for his Hunter plays. You can expect to beat almost any other class with a decent Hunter. I think that's safe to say, right? Because
warrior.
Yeah, well, I suppose there is the warrior. So Chinoy's, of course, could have gone on his warrior if they thought they were going to go against Hunter. But even then, I mean, I've lost a few games to double kill command, quick shot, and like some really stupid shenanigans.
Of course, you're going to lose, but it's probably like one of the more favoured matchups in Hearthstone warrior versus a more aggressive Hunter deck.
Yeah, of course. It all comes down as well to, of course, what type of warrior, because you could be playing Patron, you could be playing Standard Control, where you might have Alex Straza Grommash in your hands, and you're kind of sitting there thinking, what do? I can't just hero power his, his leper gnomes on top of all these other sticky minions.
Hero power his leper gnomes.
See, that's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. You can't. No, that's what I'm saying. You can't. Because it's even if you're then hero power and the leper gnome cancels that, and then of course he's gonna probably be either hero power and then using weapons, and before you know it, you're down to 10 health or something, and boom, boom, you're dead. So
it's gonna be Chinoys versus No. Interestingly, here we see that RUZ3 are choosing to give all of their players a game, one after the other. I wonder if this will be something that maybe their opponents pick up on and notice that they're swapping each time, and maybe try to predict what decks they're going to play in the future.
Yeah, so of course there is a massive amount of prediction in this kind of format, right? Like it's a team game, so you have to look at what classes have already gone through. So if you, for example, Ruse Game in black, and you look at Feel Good Inc., you go, right, the Hunter's out. Do you know what I mean? So it's like you can only face Paladin, and you have to weigh up what's left and see what classes are good against those classes. Of course, some people will have actually looked at certain classes in advance, written them probably down in like a piece of paper, and gone, right, this class beats that in general, blah blah blah, and so they'll have certain classes in mind. So perhaps if it's going to be Chinoy's, then for example, would you then say he's going to be picking his Hunter next? Would you say?
We're not sure the archetype of either the Hunter or the Warrior, so you could imagine that after seeing the success of Nick Chipper's Hunter, he might go, "Oh, I want to win with my Hunter as well." So yeah.
Yeah, but then you could, I say, hopefully for Feel Good Inc., they'll be thinking perhaps they could predict that. Perhaps they'll say, all right, we've just won with our Hunter. Perhaps they're going to try the luck with theirs, and they might have picked, for example, their Warrior. Because it is No actually as well, yeah. So they could pick, it could indeed be a complete counter. So we'll have to see.
I think at the end of the day, in these early rounds, it's very much just down to luck. What the matchups are. You just need to try and play your best in each matchup, and that will generally lead you to success, provided you brought good decks with you.
Yeah, of course. Now, of course, we have seen which players can be playing who. We haven't necessarily seen, of course, what classes they're going to be playing until they go in. So, again, this is like the final stage of potential bluffing, I suppose you could say, because, it's Warrior or Hunter from Chinoy's, and you've got Warlock and Warrior from No. If, of course, Chinoy's was to go for the Warrior, then I suppose... Wow.
Well, we're not going to see a Warrior mirror Resident Sleeper.
Oh, no, not again. Oh, sorry. Okay.
Yeah. If you've been, Crane's recently been streaming Patreon a lot. He's been like top 10 legend both servers for most of this season. So it's definitely a very strong deck. I imagine that one of the two teams would have brought it at least.
Yeah, that's it. So interesting to see what Warriors are going to be playing. I hope they're both not Grim Patron. I've seen quite a lot of Grim Patron recently. It would be nice to have a bit more variance. So I would like to see a different type of warrior being introduced. Perhaps like an Elise warrior. I like seeing Elise warriors. It can be a bit long, but it's nice to see an Elise pulled off. Just a bit of variance, really.
Yeah, it's sometimes frustrating when Elise comes down and they get him a lawn and you've like played the whole game, been ahead on fatigue, and then this game's starting.
Oh, there we go. Okay, yep. So the game's underway. So let's get spectating here.
Right. Have you seen anything yet?
Okay, so we can see. I'm just going to spectate no now when it gives it a second to boot up.
Warrior Mirror.
So Warrior Mirror, and it is Grim Patron versus Grim Patron.
Ooh.
So much variance, like I was saying.
Wow, nose hand. Oh, I would keep the whole thing. Wow, I think No has the dream Patron Warrior Mirror hand there.
Would you say no? Yeah. Would you say no has the dream one? It's pretty nice.
Actual perfect hand I would ever want. Gets rid of the whirlwind, which makes sense. You're gonna make patrons anyway. You might want. I quite like keeping the whirlwind because your opponent will likely clear a couple of patrons, and then you can whirlwind the next turn to create even more, and that normally finishes the game off.
Wow. Okay, but we do see some Chinois here as
Chinois
well.
has 2 patrons as well. If he draws a Death Battle in inner rage, he will be able to patron first, which is a very big deal in this matchup since it's hard for the opponent to come back unless they have a slam, a weapon, and an execute.
Yeah,
And
I
a
was
minion
gonna
on
say.
board. Yeah.
This is. I'd like to
The
see.
issue of playing Armor Smith is battle rage problems, but
What now?
Yeah, I mean, I'd still like to see the Armorsmith come down here. I think I don't know why. I mean, I'm not the most avid kind of, Grim Patron player, so perhaps it'd be completely wrong of me to say that. But equipping the Warwick is also fine. It just gets you ready. However, you might be a bit sad if you start to see a Death Spike coming out now because, of course, it's going to be turn 3, so it's not long now until the Death Spike turn.
yeah, I don't mind the Armor Smith there because most likely you're going to be able to attack on like a 2-drop that your opponent plays, and then you'll take some damage. But he chooses not to play it in the end.
So, if you want to know, let's have a look. So we've got the Acolyte to come down now.
Yeah, I think you just play the Acolyte. Makes the most sense. You just want to cycle in this matchup.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Frothing Berserker looks pretty nice. Of course, we
Yeah.
know that it will just straight up die to the
It does
Death
die
Spike.
to Death Spike, which is really annoying, but you haven't really got any other choices of plays. I think you just have to play and hope.
Yeah, I mean, by playing it, you do.
What
Hmm.
now?
Actually, because then it would be annoying as well with the Grim Patron the turn afterwards. You wouldn't be able to do it. So perhaps you do actually go with the Armorsmith instead. But this is I don't envy Chinois' choice here.
With your current hand state, like, when's Frothing ever going to be safe against the Warrior? It's always going to get, like, executed or hit down. I quite like playing it. But he chooses not to. The Death Spike's just going to go face instead, by the looks of things.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I think.
yeah, this is going to be really tough. So Death Spike, would you say? Because then Inner Rage Grim Patron looks just like we're saying. It just looks
you
massive.
can even play the Dread Corsair as well next turn. You have 5 minions on board. All of them are three attack, like vary between 1 and 3 health.
Now, would the Loatheb actually? Sorry, would the Loatheb actually be like a good answer as well to the Grim Patron? Because they can't cast any of the spells, so they could put out a Grim Patron, but that's all they could do. They wouldn't be able to. I mean, they could. I suppose they could Dread Corsair actually, and then Grim Patron. So do you see
I'm
what?
just answering with your own Loatheb here.
Do you like that instead, or?
Yeah, because how's Chinois going to deal with the Loatheb? Like, you can't slam it, so.
I mean, it's one of those where if you play the Dread Corsair and then you play the Grim Patron and you kill off the lower Feb, you then left with a 3/3, a 3/2, and a 3/2 taunt. So the weapon hit can't
slam
get through.
execute. Yeah, if your opponent had slam execute, you would just lose then, I think, because you don't have the second patron.
No, you would. You'd play the patron. You can actually, you could play the Dread Corsair and then play the patron and still hit to then spawn a patron as well.
Yeah, you'd have, yeah, so if he slammed the Dread Corsair, executed a patron, and then hit with his axe, if you know what I mean, that would clear the board. Like,
Slam the Dread Corsair.
yeah.
That would only... Oh, yeah, that would... Oh, I see what you mean, and then execute. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and then if you lose your patrons, your hand does nothing else, so you are, yeah.
Yeah, I suppose, yeah. Yeah, I guess I see your point, yeah.
So we see the Dread Corsair come down here. This is interesting. It means the axe has to be swung, but its opponent, like... I think it's a fair play. Ooh, second Dread Corsair. Pretty huge draw. Yeah, I think you just Dread Corsair patron in a rage. Hit the Rolling Berserker here, what do you think?
Yeah, this is... So
Could even hit
patron.
the Armor Smith and execute the Following.
Yeah, I mean, you could do that. Of course, you are going to have to be aware that there's going to be potential Gromashes and thing in future.
Yeah, potential boom next turn. You want to save the execute. You've got Slam to put the execute to kill boom.
Yeah.
But I think you don't want to burn it. Thinking 5 damage is fine when you're on 32 HP.
Yeah. I think that is fine, dude. I mean, if you... I suppose you are going to take more damage here as well from Frothing, as you were saying. But this is just seems like too good to be true, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, 4
How can your
patrons.
opponent ever answer this board?
Yeah, I mean, I honestly don't know.
It's a good draw, I guess. I mean, you can just make your own patrons, I think.
Yeah, because if you Grim Patron in a rage... Whirlwinds, you do end up spawning more for him, but you kill off the
You're
bigger
left with
one.
4 patrons, and your opponent has 5.
Yeah.
It
does seem rough, but perhaps then you're gonna have to.
Do?
Perhaps
Yeah.
you're just gonna have to bank on then the Gromash as like a clearing thing rather than actually pushing face.
Yeah, I think the plan. I think you have to go patron as well. And next turn, you can slam a patron and maybe get a weapon.
Yeah, you could perhaps do that. Yeah, I think he's going for it, and
Yeah, this is like the only winning line. Hope your opponent has no way to clear any of your patrons.
yeah, that's
Unfortunately,
it.
we see a slam, an axe, and an execute. So all these patrons are gonna die.
That's a lot of everyone's getting here. I mean, of course, there is going to be, there is of course going to be a bit of armor gain, but
That's
yeah.
irrelevant. Yeah.
I mean, this Fire War axe is definitely going to put in some work here, and that is going to be, well,
Game.
yeah. I mean, there's the Unstable Ghoul, which, of course, is really good actually against Gromash, because as soon as the Gromash hits the Unstable Ghoul, that just summons another wave of Grim Patrons. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I really don't see much of a comeback now from there. And I think you pretty much
called
called
the
it.
low health patrons. Probably play the ghoul. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you called it though. Like, obviously, the first person to develop patrons just seems to win, unless of course there was some kind of shenanigans where they've got like charge or something with.
So
yeah.
we saw Neyman was playing ghoul on his patron deck. I think just for the mirror at the EU Championship, maybe Chinois could also have ghoul in his patron deck, and that could be a route back into the game.
I guess not.
Nope.
I guess that kind of answers that one. So of course, well played there to know, taking that one and putting Feel Good Inc. ahead. So they are now 2-1 against Ruse Gaming Black.
Yep.
So yeah, so we do actually see Nick Chipper and No taking 1 game each now for Feel Good Inc. Of course, we still need Inner, who has his Druid and his Mage, to take a win for Feel Good Inc. But yeah, Feel Good Inc. must be, well, oh god, here we go. Feeling pretty good right about now.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're gonna be feeling pretty confident knowing that they've had almost all their players just needing now to get another win, and they've had at least 1 win each. So of course, For Feel Good Inc., we still have the Druid, Mage, Paladin, and Warlock. And for Ruse Gaming Black, we have the Shaman, the Warrior, the Hunter, the Druid, and the Paladin. So we've still got 5 classes from Ruse Gaming Black, and we've got 4 from Feel Good Inc. So still all to play for. Still, could be potential massive upsets to come as well.
Yeah, we've seen comebacks in this tournament before. We've seen tight series. I imagine this is going to be one of the tighter series. So, yep.
Yeah, I mean that's it. Like we've definitely seen massive comebacks before. Like I'm pretty sure we've had like two of those like be completely reversed and then become like 6-2s. So.
Yeah. Right. So.
Okay, so we are getting a bit of an update, guys. So just getting ready to go into the next game. I think they're going to be calling out the players at any moment now to say who's going to be playing up next.
Yep, so next we get to see Mitsuhide Shaman. I presume that'll be face. We get to see Chinoi's as Hunter. I presume that'll be again a face Hunter. Versatile, we get to see his Druid. We get Secret Paladin from him. And then Nick Chipper, we get to see his Paladin. Could be anything. We get to see Inner play at all, right, with his Druid or Mage. So that could be that could be a Temper Mage or a Freeze Mage still. And then no, we've seen his Warlock was Reno already, and he's won with his Warrior.
Yeah, so I mean basically with the mages, like I'm a big fan of Mage as well. I mean Mage is my first class on ranks. That actually got to 500 wins. So the first golden portrait was the Mage, and I think it's just because you can be very familiar with Mage. It's a starting class, so it does teach you a lot of different ways and mechanics about the game in general, like how to deal with board control with flame strikes and so on early on in the early before expansions and so on. It just is a good starting class, but of course now there's a lot of variety in the sense that you can get Freeze Mage. You can of course have Fatigue Mage, which I know, for example, that Fatigue, I think it's actually quite strong. It's just that I have not played it nowhere near enough.
Basically, it was good, and then Dr. Boom came out, and then it became bad.
Yeah, Dr. Boom was just like, no, we're not going to have any of that. We're just going to have people dying. No fatigue. We're only
going to have mid-range Dr. Boom in all of them.
Yeah, exactly. So it's
aggro deck,
no, and that's it. So Fatigue Mage was strong. He was, doing well, and then I guess it got ruined by all this aggro. But yeah, Fatigue Mage, and just so many variants, So I would really like to see a Freeze Mage, because I do think that Freeze Mage is one of those that you can always see completely different games.
We imagine that all these key death battle minions are disappearing from the game, so board clears like Blizzard, like Flamestrike, are going to become much stronger in these coming up expansions. So maybe we could see a new set of control decks riding the ladder.
Yeah, so that's it. I mean, I am hoping to see certain cards come back in that might, potentially might have been strong in the past. Even stuff like Chillwind Yeti, and of course, now obviously there's going to be Party Trade's going to be going, so I would be looking forward to seeing that one.
Yep, and of course we've seen the new Chillwind Yeti coming for Druid, which instead of being a 4/5 is like a 4/10.
Yeah, that's
Sorry, a 4/9. Which if you are playing a Cthulhu Druid and you draw those 2/2 drops, which gives Cthulhu +2/+2, then you play this 4/9 on turn 4. It's going to be super strong.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, it's one of those where you are going to have a couple of the 2 drops. I mean, there's one, isn't there, of course, which is a 2 mana, 2/3, and at the end of each turn, buff your Cthulhu by 1/1. Is that right, or am I getting muddled up with a 3/4?
But honestly, I haven't been able to remember all the cards.
Yeah, I think it's might be the 3 mana 3/4. I'm not too sure. We'll have to get back to that one. But again, it's pretty nice cards.
Playing versus Nick Chipper, we just heard.
Yep. So going to be getting ready. I'm just hovering over the spectate mode. So of course when the guys do start, we'll get straight into that. Oh, there we go. Yep. So Nick Chipper is currently going to be loading up the game. So let's. So
he's definitely playing Paladin. And Mitsuhide is definitely playing Shaman.
Oh, there we go then. So of course, both players wanting to finish off their series.
I will fight with honor.
So it'll be interesting to see what sort of in deck. We saw Midrange Hunter winning the championship.
But it's not, I don't think. It looks like an aggro shaman, which is the one that we were calling. I mean, let's be honest. Aggro Shame is pretty strong right about now.
Yeah.
I don't think you can really expect many other classes. Many other decks, I should say, when you're playing Extra class. Yeah.
No surprises here.
No, we're very boring in this in this kind of format at the moment. You know, most kind of classes at the moment seem to have a certain deck, and you just tend to stick with it because it's doing so well.
This Lava Shock indicates that behind playing the version with the ancestral knowledge is different to the version which was brought to NA prelims, which had Flameton totems and even warning creepers in. So yeah.
Yeah.
I'll never tell.
So we see the secrets drawn here for Chipper. It isn't great to draw these, but with the Secret Keeper, it can be really strong against these aggro decks to get ball control.
Yeah, and I mean, playing the Avenge can be pretty nice as well. I mean, Avenge and Competitive Spirit means that, you know, your Secret Keeper won't die to the Totem Golem as well. And of course, he might end up playing around Noble Sacrifice as well. I guess you're not going to be feeling too amazing about playing this, but I think it has to be played.
You're going to play them both, and then you're going to get Earth Shock, and you're going to feel really sad because there's one Earth Shock in this deck.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, so would you perhaps see the Lepidome come down as well?
I would attack face if in hope it's Noble's like Avenge, and then if they both proc you Earth Shock the Secret Keeper. But yeah, that didn't happen. I think you still go with the Earth Shock here.
I mean, if of course it is Earth Shock, if of course it is Competitive Spirit, it'll become what, a 2-2?
It'll become a 4-5 if you don't Earth Shock, and it'll trade into your 3-4, which is really bad for you. So that's a good case for Earth Shocking, isn't it?
Yeah, actually, when you put it like that, I suppose that's a very good point. And then at least then it just becomes a 2-2.
A 2-2, and 1 mana Yetis aren't the sort of thing you want to be playing against. So
yeah, that's a very good point actually. All right, you've sold it to me.
Yeah.
Now, of course, you could see something like, would you like Lava Shock Abusive here? You could Lava Shock the Knife Juggler and an Abusive to kill off the Secret Keeper.
Yeah, we've tested for everything apart from Avenge and Redemption. But so it's most likely Avenge because 2 of them. So how do you play around Avenge best?
I wonder.
To play around, I think it would be that, wouldn't it? Would it be Lava Shock the Knife Juggler? So then that becomes a... I mean, I think everything still dies though. Is the point here?
You really want to kill the Secret Keeper because if it's Redemption, then that's the best for you.
Oh, I see what you mean.
But he's going to presume it's Avenge and go in this line. He's leaving it at 1 HP because he thinks the opponent would have mustered on 3, and he's just seen a Juggler, so it's fine for it to be on 1 HP. And if this trades into a 3-4, he can kill it off with a Lepidome, so I think, yeah, this play makes sense. Unfortunately, we do see the magic, but I don't even think that'll be played. I think Pilot Shred is too strong to pass up on turn 4.
Yeah, that's a really strong card to just pass up on. And then, of course, you do get to kill off a 3-4 as well, so you're leaving all of his minions on 1 health. So this Knife Juggler could become extremely strong if you get something like a Muster. Unless he wants to... Oh, okay, no, I also see this play as well. Because 1 juggle here means that he only has 1 minion on the board. I do see this play here. Like, yeah.
Yeah, this play... Unfortunately, your Juggler does die here to the 2-1. But you do get to save your Secret Keeper this way, which is pretty huge to have 5 attack on the board. Ooh, Tuskar Totemic.
Yeah, I've actually played against this version on ladder, literally just today. I guess with the Flame Tongues. I mean, when I went against the Tuskar, he actually got the Totem Golem. So I was pretty sad. He had 2 Totem Golems on board, 1 with a Tuskar. So it's definitely
The dream is mana type Totem and also Totem Golem,
yeah. So of course we can see the trade here, and
you see the trades because the Night Juggler and the 5-1 are just so threatening. Like you don't want to be taking the damage from them.
No, of course not.
And just Shredder here. No need to taunt up a 1-1. You really want to taunt up something much bigger after seeing an Earth Shot.
Yeah, of course. So played Shredder, really strong card here.
He chooses to go face there because he thinks the Cog Hammer will trade off into it next turn. The Totem.
Okay.
Right.
So next turn, Nick Chipper, of course, is going to be wanting to get that Mysterious Challenger, isn't he? Because Mysterious Challenger would be very strong at the moment, especially when you haven't seen a Doomhammer or anything yet.
Yep, so that spell damage term comes in really handy, being able to kill off the Pilot Shredder and have the Spirit Wolves not affect the mana next turn.
Yeah, but that Tyrion as well could be massive if we don't see any removal from Mitzahide.
Actually, this Amali Berserk is pretty huge because it's not just a 2/3. Now it's a 5/1, which means that the Spirit Wolf trades really badly into it.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And that's not a good totem.
Actually, what we could have seen here is a totem. Actually, no, it doesn't make any difference if you totem first, does it? 'Cause it's
No, I was
yeah.
thinking that after as well. I mean, you can do it this way to then mean you could get a chance of getting a Wrath of Air again. But of course it doesn't, and this just means it's a bit more of a cleaner trade.
It's great though, because it heals up, does put that back to full HP, which means that Coldham can't get it now.
Oh yeah, that's true. I didn't think about it that way around. Very good point. Of course, not the best hand for Nick Chipper in the world. Would you potentially see trade and then Coghammer, because then you'd still get more value out of it that way? Because, or yeah, so that's right. Yeah, so I think this play seems the correct line. Noble Sack and Hero Power. You can kill off the 3/2 if you wish. And I think this is probably going to be the beginning of the end for Mitzahide here. I say probably because I have seen some crazy comebacks with Aggro Shaman before. It's never quite over as Aggro Shaman.
Reporting for duty.
Yeah, Doomhammer would have been a great draw there, but he didn't manage to get it. I think Doomhammer would be the only card that saved him. It could have killed the Shredder, could have kept his board alive, but yeah, this just feels bad. You can't even push face because of that taunt.
Yeah, and we could even see the Mysterious Challenger. Yeah, I was about to say over the Tyrion, because to force some of that removal in case something else happens. But
Yeah, I like this. It's really strong when you have board control, and it means your draws in the future. You won't be drawing those pesky secrets. You actually be drawing good cards.
yeah. Now, I can actually see why Nick Chipper was kind of hesitant for a moment there. I mean, of course. I mean, there is the Noble Sack kind of
It's a
trader
bad
there.
draw.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, he's trading with the lowest attack minions because the Noble Sacks up.
Yes, he does get more value that way. Although another way could have been if he had something like, you know, Rock Biter, which we see, or Doomhammer. But I still think in this situation it's looking pretty rough from its
Wow.
side.
He's having to. Wow, this is such value from Divine Shield. Oh, yeah, he thinks he should have put this totem to conserve. He's going to be dead next turn regardless of what pops out, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. Is it a Doomsayer? Yeah, there we go. Okay. So, of course, Mitzahide does realise there that was an extremely strong board. And, of course, without any kind of AoE as well. The Aggro Shaman does tend to just struggle and end up losing there. But, yeah, well played to Nick Chipper. Of course, he's going to be taking that series. So he's going to be taking his part of the series, sorry, I should probably say, by winning with his Hunter and his Paladin,
Yeah.
which means we won't see any more Nick Chipper for the rest of the series. So well played to him.
Yep. So it feels currently doing better than any of the teams in the Gamers Origin Brawl against IZ3. Being able to take a 3-1 advantage. So.
Yeah, so doing really well. So of course, Inner now more than likely going to be getting a game, I'd imagine, next, unless they want to finish off no series as well, because at the moment Feel Good Inc. only have Druid, Mage and Warlock left, whereas Ruse Gaming Black have Shaman, Warrior, Hunter, Druid and Paladin all still to play.
Yeah.
Of course.
Potentially, like this could be a freeze mage, and they're just waiting for Warrior to go away.
It could be. I mean, the one bonus that you do get actually in this team kind of format when you know which classes are still yet to be played is that, of course, from Ruse Gaming Black's perspective, they could say, right, look, we know they've got Druid, Mage and Warlock, so we can try and pick and play into those certain classes where, of course, Feel Good Inc. have to have such a large pool of classes to play against that it's harder for them to actually predict what's going to be coming up next.
Yep. Right, so I'm just wondering, one of the players might have been benched here. I'm not 100% sure of the rules, but I think that Mitsu Hyde could have just been benched, since they have lost 3 games in a row and he lost twice.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Sure.
So we are just going to get a bit more information about this
Oh no,
guy.
he only lost 1 time. Yeah, I'm not sure. There's currently much debate happening.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the bench rule is the same player has to lose twice.
Yeah, I think
But I
that's
don't
okay.
think that's happened. Haven't they all lost once? So I don't think anyone's. But yeah, we will see. So I imagine Inner will be playing, and it's probably going to be his Druid deck. I don't know what would line up best against Druid from IZ3's perspective.
Sorry, could you just repeat that again? I was just checking up.
Yeah.
Sorry.
If we see Inner playing, you imagine we'll give him a chance. It'll most likely be his Druid deck. They're saving the Freeze Mage. What's the best matchup for Druid?
So the best matchup for Druid, I would say something like a potentially like a Priest or any kind of like deck that's quite slow to getting onto the board.
Yeah, I don't think IZ3 have any slow decks.
No, well, that's it.
It's
It's
quite
like
interesting. The full counter Druid lineup. Well, we're going to see Druid lose every game.
yeah, I mean Druid definitely looks. Druid, I would say struggles against Shaman, Paladin, which I can see, Hunter, which all Rouge Gaming Black's classes. The only one that it seems to do well against, even then it's always arguably, is the Warrior. I mean, Druid
Yeah.
versus Druid is a toss up, but the Warrior can be really tough. I mean, if
the
you
Patron Warrior, it's weak against. We know it's
Yeah.
Patron, so yeah. If
Oh,
it's
yeah, of course we
control,
do, yeah.
Druid would definitely be favoured, but
yeah.
since it's Druid, it'll just draw double innovate in one of those games and win.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Just do Druid things and you'll be fine. Just make sure you say Druid things and then you go into the game and you just win. So I wouldn't worry about it.
so Inner is playing and it is against Denoise, so we could be seeing that exact matchup.
Wow. Okay. So I'm looking forward to this one. Could be. I mean, I like seeing kind of innovate, coin, Doctor Boom, turn 2. You know, it's always the dream.
No.
It's always the most skillful of plays. You know.
You know when they greetings you on ladder, you're just like, oh no, what is it this time?
It's just the play. It's do I innovate,
Yeah,
coin
it's
Doctor
like-
Boom, or do I coin out a Donis
I don't think
Aspirin?
anyone's ever done that to me without saying greetings, traveller. Or whatever it is. No, greetings. I can't remember what it is. What is it? Oh,
My greetings.
oh that's what it is. Yeah.
My greet. See, how do I? It's so sad that I know that. Okay, but they are going to be starting the game now, guys. So we are going to be getting straight into this one, and it is going to be Inner playing Druid, of course. Playing for Feel Good Inc. and we have Chinoise playing the Patron Warrior which we've seen earlier for Rouge Gaming Black. So, do you want to run us through these cards? Ooh, innovate.
I'm not quite in yet. Yeah.
The dream is real, but there's no coin, of course. So,
Oh, only turn 3.
oh, I know. What a terrible play.
Yeah.
That's it. No, it would be turn 2. It would be turn 2, won't it? I suppose about the coin, unless he gets double innovate and Shredder out.
Yeah.
But still, turn 2 Shredder's pretty good.
Yeah. So the shredder will come down. It can be answered by a Fire Axe.
Yeah, which would be huge as well.
Ooh, is this
it's-
aggro?
Oh, it's aggro. That's huge.
Is this better or worse for the Warrior? I think it's better for the Warrior.
Do you think?
Yeah, since if they make a board of patrons, how does the Druid deal with it if it's not running Wrath? Like, it's gonna be much harder.
Yeah, that is a good point.
Ooh, and that is the War Axe.
Okay, but we see Living Roots, so
Imagine that'll come down, right? And there isn't a Armor Smith or a Unstable Golden Hand for the Warrior, so it's gonna be quite hard for him to deal with them.
I've just noticed
Let's
something
check
as
the
well.
board.
The Sludge Belcher, though, that's quite interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, I've been seeing that king about in the in the slow version with piloted shredders.
Interesting.
I'm not the greatest fan of it personally. I like to run double dread Corsair for the tempo.
Yeah, I completely understand that. I think I prefer Double Dread Corsair as well. But even if I'm not a big Patreon player, it just seems, more fitting.
Yeah, if you're expecting a lot of aggro and you want to be slower, then I can understand Sludge Belcher, but it's like it's a bit weak on the control matchups.
So I'd like to just see standard living routes here, and then just pass.
Yeah, you could innovate the Saber, but then you don't have a 2-drop, so it doesn't really seem worth it.
Yeah, I was about to say that. I think skipping to the turn 4 is just huge as well, because it forces your opponent to have that Fire or War Axe, and even then, it then means you can play Druid of Saber and kind of hope to get even more minions on the board.
Yeah, again, we don't see the War Axe coined up because there isn't a 2-drop follow-up, so it's not really worth it.
Yeah. Now, you could actually Druid of the Saber this turn, if you are scared of Pyre Shredder, but not only that, if you perhaps have a Fell Reaver next turn, if he's playing that kind of aggro deck.
Yeah, I imagine he is. I imagine he's playing 5/5 drops, and you really want to go 2 here, innovate 5/4. So,
I mean, we do actually see the Execute as well. Sorry,
yeah,
go
we
ahead.
do. Execute is a huge draw for potential Fell Reaver here.
Now, would you have the impression it is going to be aggro as well if you actually see the Sabertooth Panther come down now? I'd imagine you would, right?
Could coin out Frothing. Trades well on board. I mean, the War Axe doesn't really do anything. It could kill a 1/1, but that's not really correct. Ooh, and he does get the 5-drop, so he was rewarded. He could even charge that into the 2/4. That's pretty good value.
Yeah, I mean, he
I'd
does.
quite like to see that play, actually, yeah.
Yeah, I think I like that play as well. It just means then it's more awkward because 2 health, it's been damaged, but you won't want to execute that, especially considering the rest of the cards. And yeah, that's what he does. So yeah, good call. I think that's probably the best play you could make.
Yeah, executing's a bit weaker. It's basically a Holy Smite. You want to try and get more value, especially since Fell Reaver's Dr. Boomer in this deck. So.
Now we do see Inner Rage come down, so if there was something like a Whirlwind, then that'd be pretty devastating.
But you're really worried about Savage Roar here with it's going to be pushing for 8 if you
Oh, so he does.
I think you have to. It's so scary to be taking that much damage each turn.
Yeah, and I think no, you've got to respect that. I mean, at the end of the day, you're playing the deck that you do have not in the next turn, but the turn after you do have a Sludge Belcher, so you can try to slow down the board quite a lot more, and then you do have even the Acolyte of Pain with Inner Rage if you needed to.
Do you Inner Rage here?
I don't think I would. I don't think I would. It just seems like you are really clutching at straws by doing that.
You have 2 of them, but you might want to here go Pain Inner Rage, and that might be a thing. And now you're wasting your second Inner Rage. I wasn't a fan of that. But now you don't have any Inner Rages left in your deck for potential Patron draw. So now, if you draw Patron, which is your win condition really in this matchup, it's not even good.
Yeah, that was quite a tough one to call, really. Oh wow, and that's huge. Oh, and that's even bigger.
That keeper's so big.
Do you
silence it.
I mean, you could, if you know there's going to be taunts, you could actually just go Darnassus Aspirant, right?
I don't think this is such good value. It reduces its ability to trade with the 0/3, and since the Warrior's only on 3 cards, reducing the card draws really...
Oh no, so he does kill it. That's just the thing I was wondering whether he'll do.
Kills it to conserve his 3/1.
But if you play Sludge Belcher here, it's just a 4/4 hero power trade.
The battle rate is where it denies. Maybe... Actually, coming to think of it, denying the battle rage basically denies the card draw anyway, so I kind of like hitting it. Ooh, what's the interaction here with Force of Nature?
Yeah, I was just about to ask the same thing.
It's not worth it. Yeah, it doesn't work.
It looks pretty dangerous though here. I mean, if you could hero power Darnassus and Living Roots. which I really like actually.
So you want to trade your 3-1 into this 3-5, not your 4-4, but then you're really weak to whirlwind if you're trading the 4-4.
Ah, yes, of course, yeah. Because I was thinking
But
you
how
trade the
do you
4
navigate
yeah.
your turns to do that? That's the question. It's like... I
Like,
think
you could live in
want
roots
a
for 2,
force.
but then...
I think
Time waits for no one.
you trade that and force.
Yeah, you could also do that.
I think you just... Really, it's really tough turn. But you get to push for... Oh, the way it works, you don't get to push for 4, do you? Yeah. You miss out on 2 damage.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, that was an error.
Yeah, I mean, there's not
Wait,
cool
what did we
task.
miss?
Sorry?
Did we miss something?
Well, yeah, because of the he missed the 2 damage, didn't he, with the force of
He
nature?
didn't miss it. He couldn't have got it, could he?
Yeah, he could have done because it was only a 1-2 body afterwards to attack. Do you see what I mean?
What?
Like, when it was the force of nature with the flame tongue on the side, he traded the 4 damage one in first, but then he also could have just used
Oh, he could
the...
trade in the 2 damage ones and then the 4 damage ones.
Yeah, so he could have had 2 extra damage to face right now.
Yeah, I missed out. Yeah, so that was a slight mistake. You don't really see that very often.
No, of course you don't. So it's not the biggest of his plays, but it's one of those that could be noticeable. I mean, he'd be at 4 health now rather than 6. And with this kind of board, you know... Especially when there's a whirlwind.
That's very significant, yeah.
Yeah. It really is significant here. Now you see a slam as well.
So, Slammer Damasus Whirlwind, good to see here.
Yeah, like this is massive.
Oh, that's... So, you Whirlwind and you War Axe, I think. Armoring up, you might as well just War Axe. You have to get off the flame turn.
So this damage now, so he would have been only 1 health from lethal, and that, in fact, so that would have been game. That would have been game.
So, do we see the potential punish here with a armor smith? Or...
Oh, if there is, it's still, you know.
Wait, no, nothing. You can't do anything. This is over.
Okay, no, he can't now. There could have perhaps been something, like if he was to whirlwind with armor smith, if we somehow got it, but
that left an death rattle.
no. So that was quite a close one. You know, I think it was kind of a bit let off there. Obviously, these things do happen. You know, it's hard. It's when you're in a tournament setting like this. You know, mistakes and stuff do happen. But
Yeah, well, I completely missed it. So.
oh, did you? I see. No, I didn't. It didn't go past me at all. That's what. Sorry, I thought you did see that. That's why I didn't really say anything.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, but anyway, that is going to be an take in that game. So of course he's got to be happy that he has got a win now as well. And at the moment, it's just now. The Mage and the Warlock for Feel Good Inc. against Rouge Gaming Black.
Yeah.
So
I already know him as a bad player than me. He knocked me out of the EU last call tournament last year. So.
yeah, that's it.
That's it.
So yes, it's
So his
4-1.
Druid is out of the way, so it's 4-1 now, isn't it?
Yeah, 4-1, and so we've only got the Mage and the Warlock for Feel Good Inc. And we've still got the Shaman, Warrior, Hunter, Druid, and Paladin for the for Rouge Gaming Black. So of course, Rouge Gaming Black really need to pull out some magic now to come back into this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chills is benched.
Right. Okay, which
Confirmed.
makes sense. Oh, so he has been. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Um,
So that leaves Mitsuhide, Shaman, and Versatile, Druid, and Paladin.
yeah. So
Do we see the Mage now?
I'd like to see the Mage because we've not seen a Mage, have we yet?
Yeah.
A bit more variety would be nice. And I can't imagine Feel Good Inc. would have too much to consider right about now because they've only got 2 classes, 2 players, so there's not a massive amount to consider now. Now you're at the point where you're 4-1 up. You know, you've got to be feeling pretty confident now. So
I also think you want to play Reno Lock into Patron, and you want to play it into Hunter.
okay, yeah.
So not be able to play it into them because Chinois is benched means that you might want to save it for Chinois to be unbenched.
Oh, I see. Yeah, all this unbenching and benching, it's too much for me.
Yeah, once any player wins on the team, he's unbenched.
Okay, so Yeah, they do need to definitely get him unbenched. I mean, of course, Rouge Gaming Black will need to be getting some wins now. If they lose another one, then you know they really are staring defeat. You know, right in its eyes. So yeah, we need to see something happen here. I'd like to perhaps see the Druid. Can we see the Druid here from Rouge Gaming Black?
Versatile, yeah.
Yeah, from Versatile. Because
I mean,
Druid
if
is
you
one
need
of
to rely
those.
on getting a win, yeah, I would always pick Druid as my number one class if I needed a win. I had to bet my life on a win, yeah, it would always be Druid.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's
so
interesting, in a best of one format, I wonder what would you pick?
in a best
On
of
my
one,
games. Yeah, the best of one format.
Druid every time.
But if everyone's picking Druid, don't you just pick a counter to Druid?
Is everyone going to be picking Druid though? You know, I guess everyone might, but it just really is one of those classes that just wins. If you get a perfect draw, it's just a failsafe. So perhaps you could counter it. Yeah, you could go something like a tempo mage, which can be pretty huge against a Druid.
Could argue a similar thing with like a patron. If you get the Despot Inner Age patron, then you're gonna win most matchups.
Yeah, that is true. I think I just need more practice, perhaps, with the Grim Patron, because whenever I've seen to have games recently, I've struggled. But okay, so the game is actually underway right now. Kind of snuck straight into that one before we actually got in there.
And we do have the mage.
We have the mage against Druid. So, wow, that's really well timed for a minute. Oh, it's Freeze Mage.
Oh,
So
we see. My prediction was that the freeze mage would come out now, but RUZ3 have clearly also predicted this, and they've countered it with the Druid.
yeah, I mean, I actually think Druid's probably not terrible against. Do we know which Warlock type of deck it is again? It was No's Warlock, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, it's Reno, yeah.
So it is Reno. So I think actually Druid's quite favoured against that anyway.
Druid's good
So
against both, yeah.
yeah, so I think this Druid has to happen now.
It's kind of a confidence boost to get the win as well.
Yeah, I completely understand. You need that right about now. But that's a pretty nice start from Versatile there.
Wow.
Coin Wargrowth. Loot
Coin,
Hoarder.
Wild Growth, Shades.
That's pretty nice, isn't it?
You have the Keeper for Doomsayer. What more could you want from the Druid side?
Pretty much nothing else.
I guess you could want one of them, right? But yeah. We do see the cycle here from the freeze mage, which is always nice.
I mean, do you early Doomsayer here if you are the Freeze Mage?
I don't like it because it's on curve for the Druid to keep for it.
So now that's the thing. So it's one of those that a lot of people would say a lot of different things here. So it's not a straightforward answer, is it? But I understand that.
Yeah.
I think that's fine. To
You
not
want to
do
make
it.
them keep on like 5 mana or something awkward like 7 mana.
Or 6, even 6 perhaps.
Yeah, 6
Because-
is not so awkward since they come up with Wrath, and they've only got 1 6-drop.
Perhaps, but then if you look at stuff like Emperor, they can't play Emperor, which is why I was
Yeah,
thinking of that.
The
Is
one
that-
Emperor in the deck. It's a
Yeah, is it too
nice to deny an
situational?
Emperor, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. Perhaps it is too situational. I was just kind of spitballing there, see if it was worth it. But
So,
Frostbolt here, do you think? I think you have to Frostbolt this Pytra and see what comes out.
I wonder.
If it's a Doomsayer, it's even better. Because then you don't have to play your Doomsayer.
yeah, you have to presume it's going to be a 2/3 or 3/2 that comes out.
Yeah.
Mm.
And almost any minion that comes out, bar like 4 health minions, will die to Loot Hoarder Ping then as well. And just leaving just a Shade isn't the worst situation in the world.
What to do?
Because of course you do get a draw on as well.
Yeah, so you could play the Loot Hoarder and ping it and play another Loot Hoarder and save Frostbolt maybe.
Time runs out.
Oh yeah, you could do it that way around actually, yeah. What am I thinking about? It all just
I guess you
depends
could
on
the Loot Hoarder
what comes out.
first, see what you draw. They could change your whole turn if you draw Mad Scientist much and put out the Loot Hoarder
Ah, yeah, here we go.
instead of the Loot Hoarder even. Yeah.
Yeah, I like this. Although that other play, no, it probably wouldn't be better, would it? Because of course you can just ping that. So if you were to Frostbolt, you could then just ping that and then carry on with your Loot Hoarder. But I don't
Yeah,
think that.
this
really
made
matters.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is fine.
Oh, so we see the Shredder going face this turn since he's predicting a Frost Never Doomsayer maybe, and it won't. But like on turn 5, the mage isn't going to be able to deal with this very well.
So do you not charge the Druid of the Claw there? So what? Not the Druid of the Claw or the Druid of the Saber or whatever it is.
Yeah, the claw is the claw, whatever it's called when it charges. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I do like charging it there actually, since most likely it could end up, if there's a Nova here into a Blizzard, it's going to be struggling to get an attack.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, so we see these loot hoarders and we see this flame strike. This indicates that it's not the deck we've been seeing at prelims, which runs, or not prelims, the main actual event, which runs Torch. That's the net deck that Dr. Hippie and Nyman both piloted to the final. This Torch deck, which runs Novice Engineers and stuff. But yeah, this looks like it runs Archmage and slightly less burn.
yeah. So I did actually see that recently in a tournament as well, so I know which one you are on about. It did look really strong.
Normally you can bolt a full health unit and then ping it next turn as a mage, but unfortunately since it's shade you don't quite get that luxury of being able to ping it next turn, but he's just doing that to deny 5 damage.
Yeah.
That's for Blizzard as well.
I mean, I think that's actually quite a smart play there from Inner as well. I mean, of course they are really good players here in this tournament. And I like the fact that he made him do that awkward hero power and just send a 4/6 to face.
Well, he didn't make him do the hero power. He would have played a 6-drop or a 5-drop if he had it, or a 4-drop, but yeah.
Well, no, because, perhaps it's just that then if he didn't, the 4/6 trading into Loot Hoarder then means that this this Blizzard becomes a lot more powerful and it's more susceptible to Flame Strike because it'll be a 4/4 with Taunt instead.
Yeah, but after, you plan to Blizzard, so it doesn't really matter if it's on 4 or 2 HP with a Flame Strike attack. He's actually going to forego playing Blizzard because he thinks it's only 10 damage. There's going to be much more threatening builds in the future.
Yeah, that is true.
He's also thinking, we didn't see anything on turn 6, so he definitely has a 7-drop. But if he definitely has a 7-drop, I'm going to want to Blizzard then Flame Strike the 7-drop, since it's going to have more than 4 HP.
Oh, and there's wow. So there's the other Keeper of the Grove as well. So in case there is like a double Doomsayer shenanigan or something, then of course Verstil's going to be feeling pretty happy now knowing he's got 2 silencers to deal with any of the Doomsayers. So I imagine we're going to see a Blizzard come down here.
Yeah, set up for the Flame Strike. Makes sense.
Yeah. Because then, of course, you'll be able to Flame Strike, finish off the Taunt, and if there is something else like an Archmage, then you can just easily kill it the next turn as well by trading your anti-kill pot.
Yeah, so your dream is you draw Alex Strasser in the next 2 draws.
Yeah, because I suppose with the Frostbolt, Ice Lance, and you got Pyroblast as well. You got to be feeling pretty safe. Of course, you have got to still play around combo though, because it only gives you that 1 extra turn. So the turn after that, if you can't get back onto the board or heal back up or put another ice block up, then you are in trouble.
Yeah, that's the thing about using Healbot, is that sometimes the Druid will just combo you and then have no board, and then you can just Healbot, and then they're sort of stuck and you can't pop you again. So yeah.
That's true. But okay, so we're gonna see.
So you're choosing the Flame Strike instead of the Blizzards.
Which is interesting.
Thinking maybe he wants to Blizzard Doomsayer next turn.
Yeah, I think this play indicates that, but at the same time, he can't actually pop the block as well now if he plays his Urdrake and just hero powers the face with just combo alone.
Yeah. The thing about these keepers as well is that after the Blizzard they can silence their own minion even, so that can go face set for combo lethal.
Yeah.
But that's exactly 14 HP. I wonder what Inner might think Versatile has in his hand.
Yeah, but that's it. So, the Ice Barrier can come down, but
yeah, Icebarrier and Doomsayer come down here to try and stop the combo from happening.
of course we know as well that there's even a Wrath and a
Wow,
Swipe.
that's an innovate as well.
So do we just see the combo here, and then you could even maybe that seems a bit over the top.
No, you don't pop it. I don't think it's worth it.
In fact, it's not actually possible, is it? Because you can innovate, but you'd only be at 11 mana, so you wouldn't be able to then do a spell to increase your damage. Because even the hero power would actually put you 1 off, believe it or not.
Yeah, first of all, Druid problems only 11 mana on turn 8.
Yeah, that's it. So Oh wow, I actually really like this, to be fair.
Ooh.
This is a massive threat now.
This also sets up lethal with combo.
Yeah, this definitely
Well,
sets up
double
lethal.
combo, yeah. Double combo is exactly 22.
Because you could even just look to do... Sorry, go on. You
Yeah,
can say-
yeah, and he'll leave his opponent on 4 HP and he has swipe in hand.
Yeah, exactly. So he has ways of getting through. Even if it's just a spell, perhaps with another ice barrier, which we see there is another ice barrier in hand.
Yeah.
And
And then, after the swipe, he has double keeper. So
Yeah,
unless his opponent Alex Charles himself, then it's going to be quite difficult. And we don't see the Alex Charles draw, which is he can't go aggressive with the free mage player, so this is really awkward. Not even any, like, he might have to act like ping to try and just get some cycle going.
What to do?
yeah, this is really tough for Inner here. So of course I really don't envy his decision making here. He could of course just Doomsay if Blizzard, but then you're going to have to expect with the amount of cards that Versatile has in his hand that there's going to be some combo involved there.
I don't expect double combo. I don't think he can afford to play on double combo, and he's not going to.
Which is fine, but at the same time it's just going to be a bit of a struggle now for Inner here. And there's the other Force of Nature, wow.
So I expect to see double combo come down here. Because he has to burn afterwards, even if his opponent were to Alex Charles to his own face.
Yeah, so you could actually play the normal Force of Nature with the double Savage Roar, because it'll be 6, 12, 18,
And play keeper.
22, which would exactly pop it.
But like, you can also play keeper, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, or is he just setting up... Is he not actually wanting to pop it now?
I don't see why you wouldn't want to pop it.
Because I don't think he can now, right? You can't pop it now. Or well, you can if you do
You
the...
can.
You can if you innovate now, and then you have to then...
Yeah.
It'll be
I think
exactly
it's
popped
worth
as
it,
well.
Since I think it's wow, he's choosing not to do it.
Okay.
But you have so much burn in your hand. You've already seen a heal. I don't know what you expect. Like, you can just kill him the following turn.
Oh no! And this could spell disaster, actually, right? Well,
Oh.
no, maybe not, but
No.
no, okay, but but you're still kind of.
Where's Alex Jarza?
Oh,
there
there it is. It's golden Alex Charles. It looks so nice, but I don't think that's going to do enough though to hold you into this game right now.
So he's frostbotting this play around combo. He really wants to go to Alex Jarza aggressively next turn and not have to try and draw a second ice pot.
Yeah, so now we know that these are in his hand and he's been able to cycle a bit more. Versatile definitely needs to be able to like
Yeah.
push now. He must be able to, of course, see that he can get through and actually pop the block now.
From Inner's perspective, here Versatile doesn't have double combo since he didn't use it last turn.
Yeah, so you might be a bit surprised by this to now see
Yeah.
it come down. I definitely would
Yeah,
see.
that's why he's not playing around it essentially. Yeah, but he just can't play around it. So you're gonna do play second dice pair on top of each other. But we imagine like Archmage Ice Barrier might come down. That could generate a fireball, and with the Pyre Breath down the fireball, that could be enough.
Where shall I strike?
Still not going for the. Or is this it? Does this also pop a block?
Yeah, I think he's just going for a bit of a different route.
Yeah, this also pops the block, but develops better board. Yeah, this makes sense.
So of course he needs to hurry with this because
This means that if Inner tries his own face, he can pop again with the second force of Nature's that ritual.
did he actually? Yeah, he did do it right.
Wait,
It's
yeah, he's
close.
just doing it in the right order, yeah.
Yeah,
Do
okay.
maximize
That was
damage.
close. Right, and I think that's gonna be game. Yeah, that's gonna be game.
Yep.
So yeah,
Pretty unfortunate draw there from Inner. Pretty good draw from them. Not much that could have changed.
yeah. So I think Versatile just doing druid things there. Getting the Emperor. Of course, it did turn out that the Emperor was a significant part for Versatile. And so that is going to be a game there for Versatile against the Net. So Ruse Gaming Black got a game back in their favour.
So the Druid was pretty much always going to win there, so it's not that significant of a win, but just getting a game back is always nice.
Yeah, it can be pretty nice for morale boost. You might see a bit of kind of and iron from Feel Good Inc. there, because at the same time they might be feeling a bit, bit down that they didn't manage to get their look off there essentially. But at the same time, like you were saying before, Ruse Gaming Black do now, of course, have their benched players unbenched now because they do have the win as well, if that's right.
Yep.
And I imagine we're going to see Chinoy's probably playing next because he's yet to get his win, and hopefully he can get his win because, of course, we do know they are all good players here. So it would be nice to see their him getting a win on the board. So everyone's at least got one win then.
Of course, right. So how do you think this will go? After seeing the Freeze Mage, you'd imagine that maybe they'll pick Warrior to try and counter it, in which case Warlock would be really good for Feel Good Inc.
Yeah, but they are going Chinoy's, and it's going to be against No. And I'd imagine I actually was thinking it's Chinoy's as his Hunter. I'm calling the Hunter right now because the Hunter looks pretty decent against the Freeze Mage and the Warlock, right?
Yeah, so it's only good against Warlock if they don't draw Reno Jackson.
yeah. You're never going to be feeling too happy if that's the case. We saw Nick Chippers earlier with Savannah Highmane.
The hybrid deck.
Yeah, but have we actually seen Chinoy's as Hunter yet?
Nope.
No, I don't think that was the case. Okay, so it should be interesting to see what type of Hunter deck he brings with him. But we will be getting to the game very shortly, guys. So it is going to be Chinoy's against No, and No, of course, only got his Warlock left to play at the moment.
Yep. Which we know is a Reno Warlock deck.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. Okay, so it should be starting just a moment, guys. Oh, there we go. Okay.
Yeah, they're just in.
Okay, brilliant. Okay. Okay, mine's taking a little while to load up, so hopefully I'm not having any technical faults here.
I always take ages to load in.
Okay, so mine's loaded in now. Yep, so it's going to be Chinoy's on his Hunter. So, and it's got a Leponome Mad Scientist. So this does look like a kind of a face Hunter here. With the Leponome Mad Scientist. Although I have seen hybrid Hunters, of course, just running Leponome Mad Scientist and Animal Companion as well. So.
Yeah, you just presume it's face, though.
Yeah. But all in all, pretty good hand, would you say, for Chinoy's?
Yeah, you always want to curve out 1, 2, 3. Mad Scientist is the best possible 2-drop you can get, so...
Yeah, looks pretty
as
good.
well, against these control decks, you want the Animal Companion, it's the best way you can get bored, really.
Yeah, I mean, even with like your Huffers and stuff, like Huffer is just obviously when you're playing Hunter, Huffer is amazing because it's an instant 4 damage.
Yeah.
Like, of course, it can die to a lot of things, but it's the instant 4 damage that can just make the difference in this kind of game, in this kind of matchup.
I'm actually going to go ahead and say this is the dream hand for the Hunter.
Yeah. Oh, although just seen Zombie Chow from No looks pretty nice as well.
He's good at getting them.
Yes, of course, both very good players. So could still go either way, but it is a pretty decent hand here from for Chinos.
The Zombie Chap counters this perfectly. Being able to deal with both the 1-drop and the Mad Scientist.
Yeah, some pretty standard plays here as well. I imagine you just want to keep pushing for face. Of course, the Warlock, you want to make the Warlock make the answers, is that right? Like, you don't, there's no necessary like reason to trade off here. Now, if you want to know, do you actually coin out the Brand Bronze bid to make it a bit awkward for them, or?
I mean, Brand does sort of have one, but it can't really do anything to 3 mana creatures. Maybe Earthling Farseer healing for an extra 3.
Yeah, I think it's just more of the fact it's a sticky minion that can be awkward and might actually require the hunter to think about what could be potentially played, almost like a bluff. So and he is going for it. It's just, it's just something you don't ever like seeing on the board. It's almost
I
like
think a common mistake is to pay too much respect to Brand Bronze players.
Right. So do you think here from Chinoise he might actually just perhaps go with either the animal companion or
I think you might just companion. If it's Huffer, I would still trade it into the brand because the 2-1 trades really well into Huffer.
and it is the Huffer.
Oh, but maybe you still. I guess the 2-2.
Now it depends what this secret is. If of course it's freezing.
Oh no, yeah, you trade the scientist, not the Huff. What am I about? Yeah.
Yeah, you could trade off the scientist here and then perhaps try and bluff it into being something like a. Well, we'll have to see what it is first of all. And it's a snake trap.
Ooh, snake. Oh, this is perfect for the because he's gonna want to trade into the Huffer, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, we do see the Defender of Argus though as well. We could even see just an abusive and face because that'd be 6 damage on the return. Do you try and actually do some crazy racing?
You can't brace. Look at your hands. I don't know.
Brace the face.
Probably.
I mean, that sounds like a pretty good, pretty good thing for me.
You often want to turn it on against face decks and go like, you're gonna have to trade. I'm threatening you with damage as well. But
Yeah.
With Reno, it's a bit difficult to do that.
I mean, perhaps it's just that if you have a 2/1 minion on the board and then you've got the defender as well. Wait, what? There was no. Oh, okay. So there's no. Oh, he obviously
So
thought it
all the
was.
traps, yeah.
Yeah, of course. And that is the
Don't
fear
attack,
as
you
well,
can't
isn't
get
it?
frozen or fox snakes here or anything.
Yeah.
That's the trick. Just don't attack and you'll never.
And he's
trap.
playing around this fear as well, because that killing off the 2/1 here is massive.
Yeah, you can offer 2-1 because that sort of hides it. Could still be freezing trap, and the trade's just too good for the 2-1 into the 3-2 or the 5-2.
Yeah, and of course we could. I mean, the defender. Oh, we can actually see a Hellfire here, I suppose. It does clear all the minions.
Or you could
by
attack
yourself.
then Hellfire.
Yeah, that is true.
I would remove the snakes. Still no attack. Huh?
Perhaps there's a bit too much respect here from No for this secret.
So essentially, no Spanish draw, no Jackson. Hope is explosive trap. Like just never attack with it. Don't die, and then win.
Yeah, because of course you don't want to be doing the arcane golem this
Yeah.
turn.
Because it sets up for Reno. Exactly.
Yeah.
But do you think you lose the Reno regardless, so you might as well just play the arcane golem? What 6 mana? I mean, Siphon Soul.
Yeah, there is that to consider. This battle cry though.
But this
I mean,
does set up lethal for Chinoy, so.
Even if there's a defender here, it would still only become a 4/3. And then of course you can
have
just.
the defender, yeah. Ooh, is that lethal? Wait, it's one off.
Yeah, it's one off.
Or is it more than one off? It's more than one off. Yeah, one man well. Right. What's the
Yeah.
line here? You could unleash abusive to trade off and then hero power.
I like
face
that,
to
yeah.
face. Yeah, I like that. This is where you just start praying.
Yeah, I mean, if there's a top deck Reno here, then that's probably good night, right?
Yeah.
So I don't see any other play. Healbot is part of the way there. And I think this is definitely the point where you need to start testing for secrets or doing something, getting a real grasp on the game.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is just like leaving the board up is so bad because these repetitive damage from the hunter, you're just not going to be able to survive.
Yeah, and at the same time, obviously this trade into the 2/1 is actually only going to give an extra damage because we know it's a snake trap. Of course, No doesn't know. No doesn't know. Well, that's weird. What the secret actually is, purely because he hasn't actually attacked since playing in England. So,
I wonder.
and I think sometimes you just got to accept these fears and try to just see what see what kind of secrets.
Yeah, that turn he
and stuff
didn't
like that.
attack, and he could have potentially got the Hellfire off to kill off the snakes. He might be regretting that now.
Yeah, that's it.
Is he going to stick with his line of just heal bot pass, take 5 damage? He's going to be down to -7 from 11, so that's down to 4. He would be dead, and he's dead regardless now without a Shadow Flame.
Yeah, because that's 6 plus a hero power. That's 8. Yeah. And then obviously we know the Arcane Golem as well, so that's 12. So he's 1 over. So of course, well played to both players there. Chinoy is obviously showing a lot of power there with a Hunter, so I am really happy that he decided to go with a Hunter. A bit of BM there as well. Yeah, game on. Yeah. Always nice to see a bit of a comeback. I mean, they were, of course, 4-1. It was 4-1 at one point, and now, of course, it's 4-3. So, yeah, really well played. Right, so, yeah, currently it is 4 games for Feel Good Inc. against Ruse Gaming Blacks 3. So the comeback is actually real at the moment. So we've got all players now at least winning with one of their classes. So the remaining classes at the moment, we have Mitsuhide playing for Ruse Gaming Black on Shaman. We have Chinoy's with his Warrior, and then we have Versatile on his Paladin. And then for Feel Good Inc., we have Nick Chip, who's completed all of his classes. Then we have Inner playing Mage, which we know is a Freeze Mage, and we have No on his Warlock, which we've just seen just then, which is the Reno Warlock.
Yep. What do you imagine? Jojo can now switch back to the Freeze Mage, but still get cued into Warrior.
Yeah, I mean, this is it. Like, I don't know. I don't really know how to call this. I mean, I'd actually say I'd like to see Mitsuhide play Shaman next, personally. I think Shaman is pretty damn strong against both decks.
Ooh, is it against Mage? The ice barriers can be a real problem, and they can end up Alex Charizarding back themselves. They can freeze your boards to stop the minion damage. They can even freeze your face to stop Doomhammer.
Yeah, they can do that. The only problem though with that is that they still have a lot of spells as well. It depends which deck hand you get dealt, essentially. Because double Lava Burst, double Crackle just completely bypasses the ice barriers. So you can actually ignore those and just push for pure face with spells.
Even with Healbot in his deck, I think maybe that could be a huge deck card.
Yeah, potentially. I mean, it's personally, in my experience, whenever I've played the Aggro Shaman, I've just had massive victories over the Freeze Mage, because I actually tend to find that the Doomsayers and their Mad Scientists just aren't enough to stick on the board. I mean, you've got Feral Spirits, you've got the Trogs, you've just got like minions that are so strong and need to be dealt with early that if they're using Frostbolts to kill those, then they can't be freezing your face most of the time as well. So. But of course we'll see if of course that is the next game that's going to play next. And it is actually, yes, the dream. I've called it. Mitsuhide going to be playing Shaman against Inner's Mage. So,
but we'll see. I believe the Mage to be slightly favoured.
Okay, alright. Yeah, I mean,
time will tell.
Yeah, time will tell. I mean, I am going to be rooting. I mean, obviously I've called it now, so I'm hoping Mitsuhide does win this one. But honestly, I genuinely am a big fan of the Aggro Shaman here. I just feel like the Freeze Mage does try to do its thing, but it's only really against the kind of the mid range and the control decks that it can do well against, unless it's something like obviously Control Warrior. But we will see. But I do tend to favour the Aggro Shaman here. It just seems that it'll. Yeah. I think it'll add damage, but we'll see. Okay, so
have we seen the Shaman deck before? Yeah, we have seen the Shaman deck, so we do know for certain it's
Yeah, so yeah, we have seen it. I mean, I was actually playing against some different Shamans on the ladder earlier. I played against 2 in a row. One of them was actually using Unbound Elemental. So that was pretty interesting. Tech card in it. Well, I say tech card. I'm personally not a big fan of it. Yeah, exactly. I'm really not a big fan of it. I find it to be a bit too slow, and think that the Trog's just a much better version.
Yeah. Interestingly, Evolution and Amnesiac have been playing mid-range Shaman on ladder, and they both got top 20 Legend on NA. So yeah, it's not that bad a deck. Gets a lot of stick, but Shaman, I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean that's it. It's definitely a case of I don't know. It's all situational, I suppose, right? And so it's kind of it is one of those where it's hard to tell unless certain matchups occur, and even then, I suppose, of course, it comes down to card draw. But isn't that the beauty of Hearthstone, right? And that is literally why this game is obviously doing so well, because certain tech cards will be good against others, but then. Against other matchups, it's just
it's nice to be able to win any game you go into.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, of course. Yeah, you reach a certain level of play, and you do definitely feel that for sure.
Yeah, I remember people saying that like Blizzard's dream is that like almost every match is 50-50. So yeah, but I don't think that would be good for the game personally.
No, I think that's definitely not the case that you want it to be going to, unless of course they mean 50-50 just purely by cards. But even then, you know, that shouldn't necessarily be the case, because you need to be able to learn to realise which certain cards are strong in your deck and which ones are more valuable, because of course that's then how you get the value game. But at the same time, you know, you should be punished if you're if you're picking bad cards and you don't realise what's a strong card, then you should be punished for that. But we are going to be starting here, so Mitsuhide, of course, getting into the game with Inner. So right, I'm going to be spectating from Mitsuhide's side, not literally through preference, just a case of I just happen to, but it is going to be the Aggro Shaman on this side, so of course going to be rooting for the Aggro Shaman to see how that goes.
Right, so we see the Mad Scientist and the Loot Hoarder in Inner's hand, and a second Mad Scientist. This is probably the dream start for Inner.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. I think you'll be pretty happy if you're Inner here, because you just
interesting Feral Spirit keep, and it does get punished.
Yeah, I mean you've got so he has a 1-drop now at least to play. I think you just have to play this here. It does then trade with the Mad Scientist in case he coins Mad Scientist. So you feel like you're getting onto the board and not getting too heavily punished. But then, of course, another Mad Scientist, that's just huge.
That's so mad. But yeah.
Yeah, and his draw is definitely looking a lot better at the moment, unless we see a good 2-drop here, which we're not.
Ooh, you haven't even seen the 2-drop yet. This is looking pretty bad for Mitsuhide. Normally, you really need this early minion pressure, so you can put them at a low enough health total that the spells can end up killing the mage.
Yeah, and I think we just have to see hero play. He's going to hope this is a taunt, which it's not. So trading as well, I think, seems fine. Of course, if there is another Mad Scientist, which we know there is, you know, you can then just Argent Horse Ride to clear it as well. Because I don't think it's too bad, actually, as well, as the Aggro Shaman for the first, I'd say about up to maybe turn 4 or 5 to just be dealing with the board. Because then what you want to then do is just unleash all your damage at once. You know, the first few turns, you do actually, believe it or not, find yourself in a situation where you're trading a lot. But then once you're actually on the board, you know, you can start saying, right, what have you got now? And then they're like, oh, I don't really have anything, but...
Unfortunately for the Aggro Shaman, it's not really going to be on the board at any point in this game. Like, the problem is, that is the case in some matchups, but the problem against Freeze Mages, once you get to turn 5, that's when Frost Never Doomsday happens, turn 6 Blizzard, turn 7 Flame Strike. So, those turns, you will, like, being on board isn't too relevant.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so, but then at the same time, like we were saying, I mean, the Doom... You know, the Doomhammer with the Rockbiter combination, like, they're going to have to be using those freeze on your face as well. So if they have that Doomsayer and then Frostnova, wow, that double heal turn as well. Never seen that before, but that's insane. But with that in mind, it's just a case of just a bit of BM coming down now, return BM essentially. You know, these Feral Spirits should be able to stick around. For a little bit, at least. And I think you're still going to have to consider a few things here. It's not going to be as straightforward as you want.
Could Loot Hoarder for board, but it's not mana efficient. I think you trade the Scientist first, so you don't draw a trap if you're going to go for the Scientist.
Yeah, you definitely want to get that off. It's going to be the Ice Block as well, so you can't... I don't think you'll be too sad about getting an early Ice Block as well, especially when you play against something like an Aggro Shaman, so... I would like the trade and an Arcane Intellect here, because you don't see any other damage on the board, and there's no Wrath of Air Totem as well, so you don't necessarily need to rush it to kill anything off.
Runs out on me.
So, looks like we are going to see the
line.
Yep.
I'm not sure about that though. Maybe Feral Spirit was better, just because it trades so well on board. And just hope you draw a 2-drop.
Yeah, oh, and there's that Doomhammer. He's getting ready.
You can't Feral Spirit this turn even, so when are you going to Feral Spirit? Like, turn 7? Turn 6?
So we could just see an Argent... I mean, do we see the Argent Horse Rider? Because next turn you want to do... Yeah, next turn you want a Doomhammer. You need to start putting some damage or procking at least some secrets.
So it's going to be turn 5 next turn, and the mage is going to be on 36 HP.
Yeah.
Even with 16 damage from this Doomhammer, 6 damage from this Rockfire, and 3 from this Lightning Bolt, that's nowhere near popping the block.
Mind if I roll me?
Yeah, so this is starting to look pretty rough. But I mean, well, you do already see one Rockbiter though in hand. So I mean, can he still easily turn around?
So that is a curve now. Doomhammer in Tunnel Trog, Fell Spirit.
Yeah, that's true. Of course, we do know there is a Flame Strike in Inner's hand as well. So, when you're playing as the Aggro Shaman, when it's going to their turn 5, you've only got 2 turns left of the board. So, perhaps you do even can start to consider. I mean, they normally people say you want to Doomhammer turn 5 every time if you can, because of course getting the Rockbite synergy out early as well is a big thing. But at the same time, you've got to understand that reaching turn 6 and 7, you're not going to have any space for minions. So playing the Tunnel Trog this way around does seem a bit worse for damage, if that makes sense.
Well, we would have seen Frostnever Doomsayer if he'd played Tunnel Trog, Fell Spirit, and yeah, that would have been sad.
Yeah, that is true.
We even see the Alex Jarza in hand. I can't see any way to freeze Mage loses this, to be honest. It's got the Source of Healing, all these freeze effects. Just needs a bit more cycle, maybe. Maybe it's just lacking the cycle at this stage.
Yeah. So of course,
I mean,
Inner's
you can even aggressively Alex Jarza.
Yeah, so I mean, Inner here, of course, contemplating whether to Icelance Face, which he doesn't. And of course, the Doomsayer will die now this way as well. So you can choose to do this any number of ways. So you could Rockbiter and then hit once and then use an Abusive to perhaps just trade in a Healing Totem to kill off the Doomsayer. That way you also then get to put another hit to face.
I wonder.
But then you don't really leave yourself up to much else.
No, I don't think you can afford to sink 7 damage into this Doomsayer, considering your opponent's at 39. I think I don't know, you have to start.
You could just Lightning Bolt and then just hit with Doomhammer as well.
Well, he is going for this Lightning Bolt. He's hoping that these minions will stick, but they're just not going to stick since Blizzard.
Yeah. So that is unfortunate for Mitt to hide in that case.
Oh, look at that, down to 30.
Yeah, I think that was pretty much the dream start for Inner there. So of course he is definitely going to struggle now to get on the board. And this top deck Doomsayer as well is pretty strong.
Ooh, Finley.
Finley's a pretty nice card. I mean, you can actually kill the Doomsayer again, but of course you're massively exposed to Flame Strike.
That's another 7 damage, so with the Ice Barrier as well, this mage is like so much HP.
Yeah.
I wonder.
Like, is foregoing the damage even worth it to get a 2-3 and a 2-1? Like, I didn't think the damage was even worth it last time.
But and that's it. It's such a tough decision.
So what are you looking for here?
Low tap's pretty nice.
Yeah, I think you have to like that armor up. However good armor up is versus mage, if you just armor up, he's just gonna kill you.
Ah,
You
okay.
don't have the time.
Right, so he decides to Lava Burst.
If this Trog doesn't go face, then all this damage has been like not worthwhile. Imagine the Inner could be on 14 HP now if all that damage has gone face.
Yeah, that's it. So that is pretty huge, and I think of course, Inner's not going to be feeling too happy here.
Wow, that would be 1 damage off popping in the other world, yeah.
In the other world, yeah. So in this other situation, there is, and that was why I was saying, the Aggro Shaman's definitely really good. I mean, having a double Mad Scientist start is like you said before, the dream start essentially. And you tend to struggle against that kind of thing. I think just playing a Rockbiter now just has to happen as well, because you need to start putting some pressure on. Because right now this Freeze Mage feels pretty relaxed. So yeah, from that perspective, we could even see soon. I mean, I'd like to see Emperor here.
The Emperor, yeah.
Yeah, and the Loot Hoarder, perhaps.
Yeah.
Frostbolt, okay. Interesting, he decides to Frostbolt here.
Ooh, I think he's planning on just getting bored, and then, like, how will the Shaman be able to kill an Emperor and an Alexstrasza? Like, it just used 14 damage on minions, like...
Yeah, that is a good
kill the
point.
two Doomsayers.
Krako's a pretty good start.
Again, the Kraken's going to have to come down on the minions.
Oh no, but he does it this way around. Oh, it does. Wow, so he gets it.
Nice.
So,
Unfortunately, this Frost Nova is going to deny all these minions.
yeah, you could Frost Nova or you could just Blizzard. I think
Yeah, or
Blizzard here is also
yeah,
fine, yeah.
Blizzard, because you want to Alexstrasza Frost Nova.
Yeah, Alexstrasza Frost. Yeah, that is huge. That is really huge. And I think this is definitely the beginning of the end now for Mitzahide. With the Ice Buck up as well, I just don't really see like any kind of way around this kind of game.
This is the end of the end.
The end of the end.
The
I don't
end
really
is
know
coming,
what-
as the Doomsayers said.
Wow, that is ultimate roleplay. Okay, so we can see a Feral
That
Spirit.
blocks the Alexstrasza attacks. That's slow for a bit.
Yeah, I
I think you
mean,
lava shock here, right?
yeah, I think you have to.
Yeah. Your dream is still to draw ancestral knowledge. Going face makes total sense here. Just really want to pop next turn, and then that means the defensive Alexstrasza happens. So
Okay,
these
so
lava shocks have been particularly bad for Mitzahide in all his matchups. It's interesting to see that some people have cut that card. It seems to be paying off for them. Maybe.
yeah, that's not going to be the trade that he wanted. So,
Gonna end up having to come up with this minion to stop the 8 damage coming face.
oh, that Blizzard.
That's a heal bar as well. Wow.
But that Blizzard is definitely going to be massive.
Yep, and this Ice Lance can push.
Yeah, that is just massive. And right now, I don't see any real way for Mitzahide to get back into this now. Lava Burst does not do it.
You can't kill yourself now.
You can kill Alexstrasza by Lava Burst Crackle, but that just seems so... Yeah, you can
you
crack his
kill
face.
yourself.
Yeah. Oh, for free.
Wow. Play.
Well, well, at least bit of honourable Sudoku going on there from Mitzahide, but well played to both players. Again, I think that was a really, really good, like you were saying, dream start there from the Freeze Mage. I feel like in an alternate universe, it could have, gone either way. But yeah, well played to both players. And that is going to be Feel Good Inc. on match point, or game point, I should say. No, it will be match point, wouldn't it? So, yeah, they just need to win with the Reno Warlock, which is Nose Warlock now. And they have 3 different choices, so I wouldn't be surprised to see perhaps the Paladin or the Shaman rather than the Warrior in this case. But
So,
we'll have to see.
we've seen this Warlock lose twice already. Is it possible for it to go 0-5?
Yeah, I mean, this Warlock needs to... I don't know, something needs to happen. So, yeah, we need to see a win for this Warlock. Both Warlocks not actually won, funnily enough, from both teams. It's the only class that hasn't actually won yet, like a single game. Oh no, apologies. What am I about? Mitzahide won. Yeah, God, I'm being... Yeah.
It won the Warlock Mirror in the first game.
I've had a long day, so yeah, that's it. It won the win, of course it did. Yeah, so we do of course see the win for that one, and we do know, of course, guys, that the only class for Feel Good Inc. is the Warlock, which is for no, and then we've got Mitzahide on Shaman, Chinoi's on the Warrior, and Versatile on the Paladin. So we'll of course get straight into the game as soon as we know as well. So what do you think we'll be seeing next against this Warlock?
Right, do you go for your best matchup or your worst matchup? This is the question. I think if you're going to go for your worst matchup, it's probably the Warrior or the Shaman. I think the best matchup is probably the Paladin. Or you might want to build confidence with the best matchups, try and put the opponent on tilt maybe, or maybe you just want to like get out of the way and go, this worst matchup has to win anyway, let's see if it wins.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of understand that. Yeah, I think that makes sense. It's just, it's one of those. I mean, do you want to go for more morale boost though with a win? You know, to put them on
I
tilt
like
and
just tilting your opponent. Yeah, that's the best strategy. Is just go for the best.
I
Like, get the perfect curve for Secret Paladin. That's always going to be annoying.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, you just want to really shove it in their face. Throw a few BM taunts out there if you're that kind of player, which I'm not, but I know some people are. And just get the confidence back. I feel like when you're 3 wins down, you just need to get that confidence, find that kind of niche. I mean, I have beaten a couple of players before in the past where, you know, I've actually been 3-1 down. Oh no, sorry, 2-0 down, I should say. Sorry, apologies. And it was the first person to win with each of their classes, so it was the Conquest format, and I was against a Hunter, and I actually reverse swept said player, and came back to win 3-2. So
I thought you'd be like, I was 3-0 down in this best of 5 series, and then still managed to come back and win.
no, this was a best of yeah, so it was best of 5, of course, but it was a case of
reverse sweeps happened. I think they happened at last weekend.
Yeah, so he,
Bunny Hopper against Tars. Yeah, that was a reverse sweep. So.
Yeah, it's literally just a case of trying to get your class that you feel like you can win against. I mean, I think at the time, because it was a Hunter, I actually had Priest as well, funnily enough. So I literally only just, I think, won with a Priest. Or it might have even been a Mage. I think it was a Mage. I had exact Fireball for lethal or something against this Hunter. And it was extremely close. Like, I got mega lucky. And that just put the player on tilt. So, you know, sometimes perhaps you do have to go with the more risky classes. So perhaps in that case it paid off. But
at the end of the day, you have to put 3 classes. The order doesn't really matter. It shouldn't matter.
That's it. And okay, we do actually see Mitsuhide and No get into the game. So this could potentially be the last game of the whole series. If of course No can take this, and it's going to be the Shaman against the Warlock. So yeah.
So these are the 2 of the worst performing decks of the day.
Yes. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. So they are, aren't they?
Has to win now though.
Yeah. So surely someone has to get a win. Maybe we'll go to Fatigue. No.
Maybe we'll see a tie with a Hellfire.
There's a Reno Jackson.
That does spell the end, unfortunately.
I mean, I almost don't really, that. With this aggressive hand.
You can get the Tunnel Trog, Datum Gun on Fell Spirit start, and Reno Jackson can't affect that much.
But this is not. I do really feel for Mitsuhide right about now. I mean, you can coin the Tone Golem, which is a nice start, but even with Reno Jackson, you're just. I don't really know how you can really claw your way back into this game, to be honest.
There's a long way to go, maybe. In Doomhammer, sometimes, if you keep Doomhammer and you get that double rock fire after Reno, you can still burst quite a lot of damage, potentially.
Yeah, that's true. And that's it, with the Lava Burst. I mean, obviously in this game, of course, it's just heals more than anything. There's no extra gains, there's no armor gain like Ice Barrier, there's no Ice Block. So there is no kind of weird voodoo magics that can stop you from doing anything. It's literally just heals. So, yeah, some people... I've heard a lot of players saying that they prefer it where if you actually put them to, say, 20 health, it's a lot more awkward for them to actually...
Reno, yeah.
You
want to hold back your burst and, surprise. Sometimes the Reno Jackson will be like, yeah, I'll survive next turn, I don't need to do it. And then you'll just suddenly come out with a double rock fire and they'll be like, I'm dead.
Yeah, exactly, and that can just easily happen. Are you going to see the... We could see a full clear here, which, considering you've seen a pass... Well, you saw a coin 2-drop, and then you've now just seen Abusive. Would you have considered perhaps a Dark Bomb Mortal Coil because you're playing a Reno deck?
Maybe, yeah, but the problem is you use up your Dark Bomb, which is a really important card to kill cards like Knife. It's pretty tight.
Don't worry, loves. The cavalry's here.
But clearing board is always really good against the deck which has Abusive Sergeant in. It's just nice that card from getting value.
Yeah. What do you think about sort of like Bran? Or no, do you just think Shredder's the best here, or do you like Bran Clockwork?
I think Shredder's the best for board wise.
Do you think Shredder's the best board wise?
You can save, I don't know, you can save the Bran potentially for a heal bot on turn 8, which is always strong. Bran Argus is always super strong. Bran Peddler even can be super strong. You can get a heal and a taunt off that. I think saving the Bran for value might be better. But...
So she's got a bit of a decision here. Of course, we know that he does actually have Reno, so he can actually heal to full health twice. So you can heal past and get 60 health. That's insane.
Imagine if he gained 30 armor as well with Bran.
Yeah, that'd be pretty. That would be pretty ridiculous. But back to the real world, where you know this game is horrible, and you know you get punished by secret paladins and so. The abusive sergeant's pretty good though to kill off that Bran.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'd like to see a trade off here, and then see what spare part you get, and then look at playing the piloted shredder. So if it's something like a freeze, that's pretty decent. Reversing switch, wow, okay.
Ooh, reversing switch. That
Reversing
could kill a
switch,
totem, yeah.
or even reversing switch piloted shredder. So it becomes a 3-4.
That's even more OP.
Because then it
Yeah,
can't
I'm
die to
sure.
lightning bolt. I don't know, actually it might be alright. Right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
like what?
You might want to save it for a totem though, flamethrower totem potentially.
That's true. Or what about power overwhelming, reversing switch silence? So you keep no. I'm joking. Yeah, yeah. I'm making up some. Yeah, I was making up some crazy plays in my mind, but it definitely wouldn't work.
So that Doomhammer's pretty huge. It's the only way you can possibly beat Reno Jackson, I think.
Yeah, and I think you might. Oh, okay. So it does tell. Wait, it's highlighted golden. Is it meant to now? Have they fixed Reno Jackson?
They fixed it in the latest patch.
Oh, okay. So it does. Okay. Oh, he's not gonna. Wait.
Wait, he's thinking about it now. If he like,
Is he not?
what the odds of dying with 4 mana for the opponent? Like, I don't think you Reno yet. I think you Reno next turn.
But how much damage is this going to be coming out right now? Like,
Not
mean-
enough.
if he top decks Rotfire with the overload,
Yeah, but do you play around double rock fighter when they're what?
well, I mean,
10 cards in. Yeah.
honestly, I've seen crazier things happen in this game. I am really not gonna lie. This,
Finley is strong.
yeah,
I
definitely.
don't think you spend your burn cards yet 'cause you still expect Reno.
So yeah, that is true. You've got to expect something like that to come out. Okay, so
Fire Blast is the one that deals damage, so you pick it.
oh, but he's going for it now.
Wow, I'm not sure about this. I think I just like. Really wants to play around with taunts. This is why he's doing this now. But this just maybe
This
he
is
thinks
gonna
he'll
be-
lose to Reno regardless, so he's just going for this, which is
Yeah.
fair dues, I guess. This means he wins against taunt. So taunt's far more likely than Reno, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's true. I mean, Reno, there's still 19 cards left in those decks, so you've got to kind of understand that something like that could happen. So it is tough to call, really. So
Right.
I think you just
so
have to Reno.
think, and then you play Reno.
Yeah, I was going to say I don't really think there's too much else to kind of consider here. Like I think Reno's just definitely the play. Perhaps
Can
he's
I
like,
survive next turn.
yeah, not with anything else. No. So I think you just have to Reno Jackson here. Like there's nothing else. Perhaps he's just doing it for BM or something, but or maybe it doesn't work. Maybe he doesn't have Reno. Yeah, he has Reno.
In these Warlock decks, it always works. They don't run 2-ofs. You go face it, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
Try
I
and
don't
push
see any
the,
reason to like.
It sets up lethal, right? Question mark. Maybe not. No, it doesn't.
Question mark. Do you Feral
It's
Spirit
2
here?
off. Yeah, I think you fell Spirit hit, and just maybe it'll save you a turn.
Yeah.
Oh, he's going for the lucky flame juggler.
I mean, you could also go for that as well.
Of course. Like, the problem with this is that he Reno Jackson with Board Control. When that happens, it's just so hard, like, to ever get the damage required. From the Shaman's perspective.
So how much damage is it? That's 12 plus.
That's lethal, yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Yeah. Okay.
He was 2 damage off before the Hellfire top though. Oh, so that's the series.
Damn. So there we go then. So no taking that one, and damn, that big ass arcane golem.
It may have gone all the way to the finals of Game of Soldier Duel, but Feel Good Inc. show how strong a team they are with these excellent battle points.
Yeah, so well played there to Feel Good Inc. Obviously beating Ruse Gaming Black. Still, I think Ruse Gaming Black did still play well. Put up a pretty decent series. I mean, considering they were actually like 4-1 down at one point and then came back to 4-3, so they actually had a pretty good comeback fight. But then, of course, Feel Good Inc. just showing their persistence and like kind of sticking with what they know, not kind of bottling under the pressure and just playing it out as it was, and yeah, getting some convincing wins here. So that is going to be it, guys. And yeah, so right, we can wrap up these games. Oh my God, webcam mode. Okay, so yeah, I mean that's going to be it. So do we know what's going to be happening next in the brackets actually for Piggie League at the moment?
I'm not aware on the brackets. I'm sure you can find it on the website.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we need to get. So we'll need to get the brackets. Of course, we will link the brackets, guys, in the chats for you afterwards.
Yeah, I imagine that it will all progress. Everyone else spent tonight. We'll see the winners move on.
Yeah, that's it. So yeah, and all right. Of course, 10 minutes delay as well, guys. So we'll see you guys obviously in 10 minutes. But I will make sure to link the brackets as well on there and everything. But yeah, obviously, thanks for stopping by. And you got any shout outs or anything you want to mention at all, BoarControl?
Not particularly. Shout out to my new team, Torpedo Gaming, and if anyone's going to iSeries, I guess I'll see you there this weekend.
Yeah, that's it. So, of course, make sure to check out iSeries as well, guys. Insomnia Gaming. So, it's the I-57, is it?
Yep.
Yeah, it's 57, yeah. I-57 this weekend, so we'll be there. And yeah, that's pretty much everything. Yeah, quick shout out to my team as well, Xenix. And yeah, have a good, I don't know, whatever you guys are going to do, I don't know. Have a good one anyway.
Have a good night.
Have a good night, yeah, that's it. Take care of yourself, guys, and we'll catch you all later on the next stream.
See ya.